You have entered the realm of the VCR Podcast with your host, Vish.
They're just bastardizing our childhood and the classics.
Chris.
Nintendogs drove me. It's what makes me want to hurt people.
Radical.
People in general still bitch about everything. It still doesn't change.
Let the podcast begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the VCR Podcast, the only podcast that predates itself from the moment the title is spoken. Adam, aka askcsradical, here with you guys. Vish and Chris above me. Episode 51. 50 episodes are past us, and now it's time to ruin another 50 more.
Yes. Let's do it.
Heck yeah.
So, a lot to go through this week. Obviously, there's been a couple of, like, really weird stories to happen. And then, I thought, okay, we're going to have a bunch of, like, small-ass stuff this week. And then all of a sudden, the Game Awards is like, hey, here's our nominees this month, or this year. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's, like, another half an hour of the podcast already. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Otherwise, we're going to be arguing about what's the best game out of most of the games none of us have played, because we don't spend hundreds of dollars on games.
Adam, we don't need to argue. We can all agree unanimously.
This is the VCR Podcast, Vish. We exclusively argue.
Yeah, that's 100% correct.
Well, good thing good thing it's not nominated this year. I mean, who knows? I didn't read the whole list, so maybe it'll be on the best sports games list, and then we can talk about Madden then. But
no.
I mean, I'm gonna hold out the possibility at this point. I haven't read the list yet, so we never know. But anyways, this is the part of the show where we talk about all the stuff we've been doing. I will go again at first because it's the same damn thing. So I at least finished Chapter 1 today of Metal Gear Solid. So that's done. Chris couldn't believe me when I said I completely S-ranked the Philanthropist boss fight.
What the fuck?
This is the major boss battle in the first part of the game. Which did you go in the tank at all?
No, I just ran around
Hey.
I ran around with a rocket launcher, constantly hitting him in the face, and then just kept waiting for my supply drops.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's what I aim to do.
I just happened to walk into because there's only 3 objectives. One of them is obviously completing the fucking mission, but the other 2 was take the guy's head out, which any video game player who's played for, I don't know, more than 5 years like I have knows, if you have a game where you're shooting stuff, you aim for the fucking head, so that was easy. Yep. The only other one was you had to shoot the Psychomantic's ripoff, which...
So that was Psychomantis.
Oh, is it actually Psychomantis? Well, there's the spoiler for me, I guess.
You didn't realize that?
I didn't know Psychomantis had, like, bright fucking, like, punk red hair.
That was, because all these guys are in their youngins. Like,
well, I understood that, but I also hold out the possibility that there could be, like, extra parts to this. Like, I don't assume that everybody... Yeah. Actually, that's not true. The second Eli showed up, I'm like, that's fucking Liquid. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. That one was obvious, but
yeah,
no, that was completely.
Well, the only reason that I thought it might not have been Psychomantis is because since that person was paired with the fire guy, that I'm like, okay, maybe this is something different. But either way. But, like, that was the other mission, is you have to shoot Psychomantis at some point during that. And I'm thinking, okay, it doesn't tell you that, but I'm just thinking, okay, I have an opportunity. Here's the fucking person floating in front of me in this, like, reflex event. I'm like, okay, well, I'm certainly not going to shoot you with my rocket launcher because then that ends the mission because I will blow myself to smithereens. So I'm like, pistol, ping. And then it was done. I'm like, okay, good, you went away. And then it was just like, US ranked. I'm like, shit, I don't think I did anything, but okay.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
But with Chapter 1 in the books, I'm pretty happy with where that is. I mean, again, the story doesn't really give itself anything at this point. I thought it was very strange that all of a sudden, again, I guess I'm spoiling sort of a 5-plus-year-old game, but like...
A 5-year-old game, it's fine.
I found it really strange that 1 second you're spending all this time with Skullface as he tells you about what Philanthropist is going to do, and then the second you get there, he no longer has control of Philanthropist. It's like... What?
But I found it was, unlike a lot of Metal Gear Solid games, Skullface was kind of a sympathetic villain.
I don't really have an opinion either way because you don't really see Skullface very much. The only time you see him is he just gives you dialogue and then leaves. I don't even give him sympathy at this point
non-existent
because there's not enough time to spend with him to gain that.
But I mean, like, why he's doing what he's doing. And a
Sure,
lot of
but
times-
you don't really hear most of that until after, like, you basically defeat him and you get all the cassette tapes that kind of give you a little more background on him, where it's like, all right, well, it's a bit late for that.
Yeah, I felt like they could have done a lot more with him for sure. For sure.
Now, granted, I haven't gotten any further. I did, like, the first mission of Chapter 2 so far, and that's all I've done, so I haven't gotten much further beyond that.
When I got into Chapter 2...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Stop being so fucking Canadian. One of you do it.
Fine, I'll go. I found that once I was in Chapter 2, I stopped doing a lot of the side missions because some of them were repeats, as Vishal had mentioned before.
I'm getting to that point, too, where
older
I'm
side
starting to
mission?
chill a bit on the side missions. I'll do them when I'm listening to something, so that way it doesn't take a lot of focus. But if I'm not actively, like, listening or watching something, I'm like, screw it. I'm going into missions now, because I can only rescue prisoners so many times. And I will say this, though. I don't mind doing the side missions still. Because there's always a challenge to it regardless, because no matter how many times you do them, the challenge is still doing it without ever getting shot at. So there's always that engagement.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like what Assassin's Creed Odyssey does, where like you can only take so many forts down before you're like, okay, I can hit X to counter as many times as I want, and eventually it gets boring. Metal Gear, you can approach it from so many different ways, and your goal is still like, can I do this without without alerting anybody? Or if you're in my case, you tell Quiet to go attack it, and then by the time you get there, she's already knocked out half the soldiers.
Quiet's so awesome.
But that's the best part. It's just like, hey,
she is.
you have a not a suppression sniper rifle, a tranquilizer sniper rifle. Can you just go in there and like do most of my job for me, just so I can walk in and then scan everybody and decide whether you live or die now? Which is like my favorite part, is waiting until everybody's down, and I just walk up to you and I'm like, are you useful? No? Bang! Okay, next one. Are you useful? Oh, you get to live. Woo!
How did you find that level where you had to save Codemaster? Because I thought that was the most difficult rage-inducing level.
Depends on what you're talking about. Are you talking about getting to him or getting him out?
Getting him out.
That wasn't hard. It just took way too fucking long.
Yeah, that was...
I basically hid behind the house and just had him sit there, and I was just slowly picking away at his... at the helicopter until eventually, finally, I'm just like, screw it, I'll get in a rocket launcher. I was trying to do other ways around it. I was trying, like, airstrikes. I was trying to, like, maybe sneak around it, and then I'm like, fuck this, fine. And I airdropped in a rocket launcher. I was trying to avoid spending more GMP on shit, but...
I found that one just absolutely rage-inducing difficult. I was just, like, I don't know, I just was furious at that one, and... It eventually you finish it and you're like, okay, that was actually pretty awesome. Oh, what did you think of the sniper boss battle?
What's sniper? Oh, the 4 skulls?
Yeah, that one I found was a little challenging as well.
That wasn't challenging. Honestly, if you literally just don't move, it's not actually that challenging. The problem is that it's not the most engaging boss fight. Because when I did it, it wasn't that difficult. All I had to do was just sit behind that same rock, wait for the sniper line to come out, flag him, and then shoot him. And it just took like 3 headshots per guy. And it's just like, all right, that was kind of boring. But the only one that I really kind of got annoyed by was the one where you have to, after you get Code Talker and you have to go and you crash down, you have to deal with all the skulls there. That one was irritating.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
And that one's stressful.
Because that one, I really wanted to do that in any other way other than to just take a rocket launcher and fire, but they didn't really give me much of a choice because those guys are way too bullet spongy.
And did you find when I said after the level you saved Otacon, that's when the game really changes to what it actually is?
Like, what do you mean by that now? Because now that I'm at this point, what were you referring to?
Like, I found the game was kind of like there wasn't really like any point or like any like progression to it until you actually got to the level where you saved Otacon and you found about Salamantropus, and then...
Well, you understand why that is. You have to kind of let people get into the world first before you throw a bunch of dialogue at them. This isn't a JRPG. JRPG nerds know what they're walking into. You don't walk into a stealth game being like, you know what I need? 4 hours of dialogue.
That's
It's
Metal
so
Gear
stealthy.
Solid game in general, though.
I mean, shit, there's some JRPGs that are notorious for literally having like an hour straight of like nothing because you're waiting to even get to the tutorial level for the first time.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
some
that.
of them are long.
There's this one that part in Final Fantasy VII where Cloud is giving his backstory. There's a save spot in that actual part of the game, like just for like reading dialogue. There's a save spot. It's like, do you want to save and come back?
Because there's so much story.
Yeah, like the history behind the Sephiroth.
But yeah,
And,
no. Going
Final
back
Fantasies
to
have way worse than
going
that.
back to Metal Gear because I don't want to take too much longer on it. Yeah, I mean, now that where I'm at, I think I was about 80 hours I'd put into it at that point.
Oh shit!
Damn.
It might be more than like 70 because I know I keep the console on when I'm like either watching something or having food or something like that. So it's probably more like maybe 70, 75 tops. But for what it is right now, because the last time I checked, I think it was just over 50% completion, and I probably will end up around like 70-ish if I finish the whole thing.
That's
Because
difficult.
Yeah,
That
probably
is a
about what-
difficult game to 100%.
well, yeah, but that would also require me to S rank things, and I don't have the patience to do that. So
Yeah, no. I don't 100% those kind of games.
that's the thing. If the S rank was, or sorry, if the 100% completion was an S rank, then I'd probably be a little bit better off. It was just finish this mission, I'd probably be better off. But the second you have to require me to do like certain things, it's the reason why I rarely ever platinum or 100% games, because it's always like you have to kill 50 enemies with this really like unusable power. It's like I'm not wasting my fucking time doing this. So I know people that are pretty big into platinum in games, and I'm like, I don't understand you. Like, you're literally being forced to use things you don't like just to do this.
Yeah.
I'm halfway. Because I
Like,
love platinum games. I aim for it, but as soon as I see something like speed run the game and beat it in under 3 hours, get S rank and all these missions, I'm like, well, this isn't the one I'm going to platinum. I'm not going to even try.
There's this one. So Resident Evil in the original games, they had a thing where after you were done the game, you can play this like escape mission to earn some cash so you can get some weapons and play this story mode again with these weapons with unlimited ammo. The Wesker one, and I believe it was Code Veronica, all you had was a knife.
See, a speedrunner hears that and goes, I can do that.
Oh, for sure. I'll beat Mario with no mushrooms. Done.
So yeah,
And they fucking do it somehow.
well, yeah, because if you
Practice.
spend thousands of hours playing a game, you kind of figure out how to mess with it. Anyways, that's it for me. So Vish, what have you not been doing this week?
I played a little bit of Shadows of Mordor as well. I think I'm just too underpowered to really play it and really enjoy it right now. It's great. It's basically Arkham series in Lord of the Rings world. I'm not familiar with the timeline. I don't know if it takes place before, during, or after the whole trilogy. I think before. I think it is a prequel series.
It is.
So yeah, it's really cool, and maybe just I'm not familiar with the lore that I should be, but unless you read the books, it really is. And from what I hear, the books are a lot of descriptive dialogue. There isn't really a lot going on. They just describe a lot. That's why they were able to make it into a movie so well, is because the book described a lot of the visual aesthetics of things. When people first saw the Balrog, that Gandalf battle saying, "You shall not pass," everybody said, that's exactly what I thought it would look like. And that's solely because it was so descriptive in the books, in the literature, that you were able to see. But
I love how we spent more time talking about the films than the actual game at this point.
And the books.
So yeah, I really want to get more into it. I think it would be a great game. I think it again, it's similar to the Arkham series from what I played, and it's pretty violently satisfying. There's ways to just execute orcs, but it's like, again, I think I'm just too underpowered. So when I go to a certain point, there's about 30 orcs surrounding me, and I'm able to kill most of them, but there's not to regain health. It's not the easiest way to do it. But again, I think I'm just underpowered and inexperienced in the game.
Are you doing any stealth?
You don't really get a chance to do stealth because there's just so many orcs. And again, maybe it's the inexperience, maybe it's the underpowering. When I try to do stealth and I'll fire a bow and arrow, there's like 5 orcs around a orc. So if I kill one is bound to spot me. So I don't know if I'm just... I could even just be bad at the fucking game. So
I'm not saying you're bad at the game.
If I remember... but the game is. If I remember correctly, I think it was you had to hold R2, which made you creep and walk crouched. And you got a melee stealth kill. Like you get up behind, knife, and then move on.
No, that
and
is...
you got to kind of Assassin's Creed your way like a spiral, taking out everybody until you get into the center.
No, that...
I think if you get overwhelmed,
you do it.
Yeah.
And again, maybe I just don't have enough moves either. Like I said, it could be the fact that I'm maybe trying to do too much without, like, maybe it's a game you really need to, like, grind through to level up a little to learn some moves and learn some melee styles. The other thing I did this weekend, and it's just been, I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I watched Aquaman. It wasn't terrible. It's
Wait, you never watched it?
No.
I didn't know that. I figured you of all people would have been the one to watch it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I figured the same.
So I watched it. It wasn't terrible. It's very staged. So you know how in Mortal Kombat they go into battle, taunting and posing. That's the start of every fight scene in Aquaman. Where they're about to fight each other, they taunt and pose. So in the 2000s, this movie would have been fucking incredible. But in 2020, when we've had the entire MCU, when we've had like pretty much, Adam, you're not even like exaggerating. So it just
curious question though, like if take it because we've obviously seen some better DC movies, but this came after like a lot of bad ones. If you compare it to those, how much better was Aquaman compared to the others?
Honestly, I would probably, if you had to do it via the solo wise, I would say Wonder Woman. I loved Man of Steel. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I loved Man of Steel. Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, Shazam, then Aquaman.
No, I wasn't asking you what your top order was. I'm saying like after, because this came after Justice League.
Yeah.
So after like that shit show, how would you compare Aquaman? Because everybody was so down on DC movies after that. Because apart from Wonder Woman, every other movie at that point, for most people, was not positive.
It's before Shazam. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't know. I would give it
because you're the DC
7.
guy. That's why I'm asking you. Because you're the one that's gonna have the biggest opinion.
I give it a 7, and again, it's not terrible. Like it has a few memorable moments. I felt it was way too long. I felt the fight scenes, like the Mortal Kombat Street Fighter staging beforehand was really lame, and it's entertaining. I think Adam, you may enjoy it.
I've seen it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's why we were all confused. It's like, how are you the last one to watch it?
I mean, I've never seen it.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
I've never seen it.
What did you think of it, Adam?
I'm not going to seek it
Again,
out.
like, and I was trying to ask you the question, so I'll rephrase it as well after I answer, but, like, I thought it was fine. Like, it was perfectly fine. What I meant to ask you, like, and I'll word it as perfectly as I can. If you had watched this after having to deal with Batman, Superman, Suicide Squad, and Justice League, like, those quality, like, horrible movies, would you have looked at Aquaman and be like, hey, there's promise, or would you look at that and be like, shit, they're still not doing that much better?
You know, it's the whole problem with DC that they should have done the solos beforehand. So I think if Aquaman came up before, then it would have...
You're changing the question.
I don't have an answer. I really don't. I really want to, but I don't have an answer.
I try to give him some rope, and he just hangs himself.
I guess so, but it's I don't know. I think there could be a potential for a better sequel because the one villain, Black Manta, was pretty cool. It's just I don't know. I felt it was way more cheesy than it should have been, and
It's
not that
Aquaman.
Yeah, but Aquaman nowadays is actually pretty awesome. So I think what the saving grace will be is the Flash movie, where it will go through the whole thing with the war between the Amazons and the Atlanteans. So,
we still got to get to Wonder Woman 1984 first. So,
yeah, and I don't know if you guys heard, they're still releasing it in theaters on Christmas, and
that's adorable. They think there's going to be a theater open on Christmas, no matter where in the world it is.
I know, yeah. And they're also planning to release it on HBO Max. So I think they've just full out given up and be like, we need to just release it.
Yeah, I think at this point Marvel's holding out just to start everything a year later and just start Black Widow at May 21st this next year.
Yeah. No, that actually concerns me that they're releasing it in on streaming, because it kind of tells me it's not going to be great if they're.
I don't think that's the case. Like, I'm not going to take that assumption when we have a pandemic going on, because this movie should have been out a year ago almost.
This movie should have been out this should have been like one of the top summer movies, but
I think they're at a point too where they're just like, we have to put this out and get something back. Like, because I'm sure they're all sitting there being like, we aren't making any money right now.
And also
because HBO Max would have paid for this.
Yeah. So that another rumor is that No Time to Die is in a bidding war for streaming as well.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. Marvel's okay. Like, Disney can fucking hold back whatever they want because they're fucking Disney, so.
Yeah, they got a lot of money. MGM or whoever has
DC has a lot of ground to catch up on, which they fucked up badly. So, yeah. Those are my that's really all I have been doing, really. I've also I've been checking out this one show on Netflix called The Queen's Gambit.
I've heard about that.
Ooh, is that the chess one?
Yeah.
I want to watch that.
It's not bad. It's very well acted, very well directed, very well filmed. It's better that it's a miniseries than an actual ongoing series, because there's only so much you can do with a show about chess, but
I don't know. Japan has a pretty easy time with anime when it comes to shogi, so I'm sure they can make it work.
What's shogi?
Basically, Japan's chess.
Oh, okay. Like Chinese checkers?
No, that's not what chess is.
See, the fact that this is only or mostly based around chess is the reason I want to watch it. I can actually watch chess on TV like it's a sport. Because I don't know why. But the fact this show's about that, I feel like I'm going to watch it and be like, I need more. I don't know.
Well, then I guess that leaves the gin drinker. What have you been up to?
Gin.
Yeah. Alcohol. No. Well, yes, but
what's your intervention?
Yeah. I've been
White Claw.
He doesn't need the alcohol intervention. He needs the console intervention.
So, to be completely honest, every time I've been gaming, I've been having whiskey, and there's been a lot of gaming, so I need one for both.
So this isn't a joke anymore, everybody.
Not a lot of whiskey. I want to make sure that I'm actually winning the games, not just watching me fall off buildings or something. Okay, so there's been a lot, and I've had to cut back talking about certain games that I've played just because I didn't play enough of them or anything, because I've got Steam still with that backlog, PS5, and Game Pass on the Series X. So I'll kind of break it down. First one that I'll talk about is a game I played on Game Pass, which I realized after the fact I already owned on Steam. So that's a fun thing I'm going to have to now pay attention to even more.
That never happens to you.
Gee, like, I didn't even know I had it. Like, where did it come from? I was like, it must be a Humble Bundle. It must be. There's no other way. It was a really cool game called Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden. So it's an XCOM style tactical game. I don't know if anybody's seen that one before.
I've heard the title. I never really looked into it.
Yeah. So Vishal XCOM games, they're they're a tactical game where you have a bunch of squares. Your character can make one move, get a certain amount of squares, and then one attack. And depending on if you're behind cover or they're behind cover, it'll give you a percentage if you're going to hit, and it shows you how much damage you're going to do.
Oh, wow, that really is XCOM.
Yes, it is very much XCOM, which is interesting, though, because it's not XCOM all the time. Like when you're
wait, now I remember this game. It's the one with the animals Okay, now I remember.
Yes, Animals XCOM. So yeah, you can move around.
Didn't we see this during the PC gaming show stream? Is that when we saw this?
We did see it. I think it was already out at that time on PC, or it was coming out. But now it's on Game Pass. It's on Switch, believe it or not. Like, it's everywhere after the fact.
I mean, those kind of games make sense on Switch.
Oh, for sure. So I was playing it. Again, it's very interesting that when you're not in battle, you're actually just exploring the map. When you use when your flashlight is on, you're running, moving quickly. When your flashlight is off, you're moving silently because you're sneaking. Because each enemy kind of has like a circle.
It's like that one horror game you were telling me about, where you play with a lantern and you kind of like have to hide from demons.
Yeah, Amnesia. This is definitely not a horror game, but yeah, it's got the same idea.
I mean, if it's challenging, it's horror in a different way.
So speaking of challenging, so you mentioned the animals. The really cool thing with the story is it's like a post-apocalyptic world, and there's mutants now, but not mutants like X-Men with powers. Mutants that animals now walk and talk like people, or people became animals. I can't really tell which direction it's going. So you start the game as ducks.
I already hate it.
Oh, it's so good. You play as a duck named Dux, D-U-X, very cool name, and then a warthog, but his name is something like Baromir. Like, it's just like a full normal name. It's really weird.
Borman?
So he's from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the stream, and that name is pretty close. So
Borman. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's him. So it's very XCOM, very cool. The two characters meet a girl, and she looks like a person, but she can change her skin to match her surroundings like a chameleon. So it's like one human-looking person, a warthog, and a duck, and like it's pretty badass. It's not like a kiddie type of game. It's like pretty graphic. They're going through some shit, and there's these stalkers and stuff around, as you can see in the gameplay. Really fun, but I had to stop playing. I got to a point. The game apparently is only like 15 hours that you can beat it in, but it is so fucking hard that I couldn't get past one more battle. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I've spent so much time trying to do this. And it's because you can't just go into a battle like normal XCOM. Like, I played through XCOM Enemy Unknown or whatever that one is. You would just go into any battle and you would make sure you placed your guys correctly and kind of flank and attack. This one, you have to move silently, take out one guy without anybody else hearing, then move around the map more, find another guy, take him out silently.
Oh, so it's more like XCOM mixed with like Metal Gear, like level stealth.
Yes. And as soon as you alert anybody, you're screwed. Like, if there's more than two guys remaining, you're fucked.
I'm already perfect for this. I already play XCOM like that. I save state constantly because I don't like losing. So I'm just like, fuck it until I get the result I want.
Is it
this
like,
isn't just losing. This is you die.
Yeah.
So is it like you can't really even fight your way out of it?
No, because if you get hit twice, you're dead. And if there's 8 guys and there's only 3 of you and you can't get any more characters, they get a turn. And the 8 of them wipe you out, where 2 guys are still waiting to take their turn because the other fucking...
Yeah, it's the thing with XCOM too. Like, when you play those games, you have to make sure that you're getting as much advantage before you start shooting that you can, because as soon as you get overwhelmed, you might be able to get out of it, but you're not getting out of it unscathed.
Yeah. So my only gripe with this game is it only has 3 difficulties: normal, hard, and like ultimate or some shit. There's no easy mode. They purposely left it difficult because, again, normal mode is the one I played and I died fast.
Yeah.
I didn't get very far. Actually, no, apparently I got like I think I got 25% of the collectibles in the world. Like, the game is really short. But because it's so hard, like, you have to redo the same battles like 15 to 20 times till you finally figure out. It's almost like each one's a puzzle. Like, if you don't do it a certain way, you won't make it. And I couldn't keep going with it. I was like, all right, I'm done with that one. I can't keep playing this. So I stopped playing that. But then luckily yesterday, and I only started this yesterday, but I got pretty far, the Master Chief Collection on PC.
Yeah, because Halo 4 got put on,
Halo
right?
4. So I installed Halo 4 with my parents' internet. Took fucking 30 hours. Took forever. Holy fuck. And I was on a work call, and my work call started going down because I was trying to download it. They're like, Chris, what's wrong with your internet? I'm like, I have no idea. And I'm like, do I pause the download? I'm like, no, I want to play Halo 4 later. If I drop this call, I drop this call.
Chris. Priorities. You let the Halo finish.
Exactly. So I played the first 3 out of 10 missions on Halo 4. Holy fuck. Maybe it's just because I've gone from, like, I started chronologically with, like, Halo 1 all the way to now. Halo 4 looks fucking amazing. Like, the
was
graphics
Halo 4 on Xbox One? Or
yeah,
Xbox
this was Xbox One, I believe.
Well, it was apparently, because I looked it up last night, it was a 360 game. But I think they just
am I mixing
the
them up?
textures. Because I think it came out in like 2012 or something.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking Halo 5, because I think Halo 5 is the first one with the new studio, I think. Or I might be mixing all this shit up.
I think this one was 343, but it was right at the end of the 360, right before the Xbox One. I think the version I'm playing, because I think they updated the textures and the speed and all that for Xbox One. Or maybe it was a multi-launch title. I don't know. I quickly Googled it last night.
No. It was a 360 game. It took 2 years till the Xbox One, because that was roughly when the Xbox One came out.
Oh, okay. So Halo 5.
But as you can see,
ironically enough, here's the weird thing I just noticed. So the game originally came out 2012 on November 6th. Then 2 years later, it came out November 11th. And then 6 years later, it came out November 17th. So they always release this game in November sometime.
Is that Cortana, the blue chick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though. They all kept it in the same month.
10. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. And to be honest, like, the game looks insane. When I saw that it could have been a 360 game, I was like, how? Like, it looks better.
Well, I think they obviously upped it anyway, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure they 4K'd it.
But they did. Yeah, I'm playing in 4K and like 60 frames per second and stuff like that. But just some of the background assets and stuff like that, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, this is
it's like
current gen.
Well, I mean, keep in mind that, this came at the tail end of a console's life cycle, which they always figure out, like, how to get the most out of it. Because, I mean, again, we're like, you're playing PS5 now. I'll be getting to do that soon as well. And we're both going to be sitting there and be like, this is amazing. And we're in the first year of 6, 7, 8 years where we're going to see how hard that thing can actually be pushed, right? So.
Well, it's also with, for example, with for PS3 and Uncharted 3, like, Uncharted 3 was a complete graphical, like, showcase. It wasn't really anything special, gameplay-wise. It was just, like, it was just a pretty face.
Yeah, I mean, it's what Last of Us was. It's what Horizon's been for this generation. Like, it's just that's just inevitably how it is. Like, no matter how beautiful games look to you the first time a console's life cycle starts, that's just them doing it with, like, the limited, like, chance to play with it they've had. When you are working on something, well, if you're like a studio that's worked on like 2 games already on a hardware, you know how to get the most out of it. So by the time you do the third one, you're just going ham on it.
Yeah, like what you're seeing on the screen now, these visuals here with the giant pillar and stuff.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if the stream's a little.
It's like 5-10 seconds back, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, but either way, like this area that you're seeing,
this level in this game.
No, it's not a Halo. It's another planet because there's 2 trilogies, I guess. Halo 1 to 3, and then 4 to Infinite, which comes out next year or whenever it comes out.
When you're in a car, are you always in third person?
Yeah, you can't first person in the car.
Which you wouldn't want to. It would be impossible.
It would also make you dizzy. I mean, we tried doing that in GTA. Sure. How does that work out for us?
No.
Can you imagine flying a Banshee in fucking first person?
Oh, God. Those things control like shit already. Like, holy fuck. But yeah, so the game, like, story-wise, it's Halo. So it's like a very interesting campaign. I'm curious to see what the hell's going on. But just the graphics, like, blew me away. I was like, this is current gen. Like, I'm very confused how this is possible. I'm only 3 missions in. I'll be done it easily by next week. Can't wait to finish it off because I'm in a huge Halo kick, and I know now on the Xbox.
It's about 5 to 8 hours. Am I correct?
Yeah, they're only 5 to 8 hours for the campaign. There's a ton.
Oh, now when Infinite comes out, Infinite's going to be a lot longer than that.
Yes, Infinite will be a lot longer. And I know once I'm done 4, I'm going to install 5 on the Series X because you can't get that on PC. It's just impossible. So I'll install that on the Series X and I'll give that a go. But so that's Halo 4. Got 2 more games to go over, and I saved these ones on purpose for last because they are PS5. I've completed and platinumed Astro's Playroom.
I've seen a lot of people say that it's actually worth doing that too. I'm definitely that's the first thing I plan on playing anyway.
Yeah, and that is the first thing I played. I played that beginning to end. All I did was install all the other games. Sony is a genius because you play that game while all your initial game purchases or PS4 games
are exactly. It's a great way to just get something to do while you're waiting for all the shit to update.
Yeah. The game itself is adorable. It's super fun. It's easy to platinum.
It reminds you of the old Spyro the Dragon, like Ratchet and Clank's. It definitely has that old feel to it.
Yeah.
And are you seeing on the screen right now, Adam? It's probably past you, but there's a cardboard box.
Of course, there's a lot of Easter eggs in that game.
The entire game is Easter eggs.
Because basically the entire game takes place within a PS5, essentially.
Not just essentially. You literally are in the core CPU, and you have one level is the cooling fan, one level is the SSD. It is so awesome.
Because, I mean, there's I've seen a lot of Easter eggs already. Every console from PlayStation Pass is in there somewhere. Obviously, you said with the Metal Gear box. It's basically like a 2-hour love letter.
Yes. I won't spoil anything.
That you play while another game is installing?
It is pre-installed on the console for free for you. Yeah. So it is literally the first thing you can play.
While you wait for your other games, yeah. So all the collectibles in the game are PlayStation consoles or accessories. And it's amazing. I collected all of them, and it's like I forgot about some of them. And you get to the end of certain levels, and I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say anything. But when you guys get to it, I'll want to talk about it. Because, my God, just the stuff that you get to see and where you end up. Because, again, you're in the machines. You're inside a PlayStation 5. And the stuff you get to see and the nostalgic things that happen. Oh my God!
And by the way, this is the scale. No, that thing isn't like a tiny jelly bean sized thing. No, that's a real person. This is how big the PS5 is. That's what the memes say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the biggest thing with this game is it's not even necessarily. Ironically enough, the game for a lot of people they've said is amazing regardless, which even makes it even better that it's free. But it was more initially just because it was a game that was going to show you literally all the little trinkets that the controller does. Because with the haptic feedback, this is a game that they kind of show you the extent of what's possible. Oh, even there you go. There's a friggin' PlayStation Move controller on the screen coming up right now for you guys. So
yeah, there you go. Artifacts. That's what they're called.
This is reminding me of what's it called? Brick Breaker for the BlackBerry and Solitaire for Windows, actually, because the reason those games were invented is that with Solitaire, they wanted to teach people how to use drag and drop. And with Brick Breaker, they wanted to teach people how to use the trackpad on the BlackBerry. So this is the whole thing. You're teaching somebody how to use a console.
Although in this case, I don't think it's teaching. I think it's showing off. Let's be honest.
Yeah, this is just giant. Yeah, this is a jerk-off session for the controller.
This game basically told people that Sony's console is far more next-gen because of the controller at this point.
It is. So you can see, Adam, you can't see it now, but the part where you're skating on ice here.
I mean, he's still skating.
You feel it on the controller, the slipperiness of it. You feel this 2 skates, because his feet are like skates in this moment. You feel those skates underneath the controller on your hand.
I really want to know how that actually feels, because you can describe it all you want, but it's
without feeling it's like we were saying, somebody was playing a game and said he could literally feel the individual raindrops when it was raining.
Yes, that's the best part of this game. That's the best part of this game, because there's one level where it starts raining and a little umbrella comes out of the character's head. It's actually really cool. I've realized what it is, because the haptics are all over the controller, so there's little vibrations everywhere. because the controller has a speaker, when you feel the raindrop, you hear a slight raindrop through the speaker of the controller, not the TV, just the controller. And it doesn't sound like a raindrop. It sounds like a raindrop hitting a plastic umbrella. You know that like classic water on umbrella sound? You hear that and you feel it, and your mind just knows it. Like it's almost like you are outside and you feel.
That's the thing. I can't wait to plug these Sennheisers into my controller and play with 3D audio with that new controller. That's gonna be so fucking fun.
I do have something to say about that in my next game. So if you know what, I have nothing else to say about this game besides it's a lot of fun. I highly suggest platinuming it because to platinum it is very easy and it makes you do stupid little shit like jump on PlayStation 1 and hit the eject button because it like does something. Punch a PS2 because you hear the startup sound of the PS2.
Because it was like please insert a proper disc.
Yeah, it's all this like nostalgic stuff, but you end up getting the platinum by doing all of it. So it's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. That's my big suggestion for you guys is to do that. Yeah, it's an amazing game. But the last game I've been playing is I am like 5 hours into Miles Morales Spider-Man or Spider-Man Miles Morales.
You mean Spider-Cat the game?
I can't say that because although I have rescued Spider-Cat, I have not unlocked him yet.
And that is some bullshit. How. This game sucks. Nope. This game is the worst. Bullshit. 0 out of 0. Not even getting a 1. 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. Okay, so first thing about that game, this game, there's 2 types of modes, which is very new for consoles. Fidelity mode. No, fidelity mode, which is 4K ray tracing lighting on and 30 frames per second, or performance, which is still 4K, all the same graphics, but ray tracing is turned off, but you get 60 FPS. I tried both. Performance mode has that, not performance mode, fidelity mode has that classic, like, there's something about the 30 frames per second that it feels more cinematic, and I know people say that online and make fun of it, but because it is moving slightly slower, it feels like you're watching a bit of a movie because it's slower. Which was, yeah, and it was actually really nice because with the lighting, like you would swoop by a building, you see your reflection and the sun in the building reflections of the windows, which in gaming is just
because that's when you get in the ray tracing and everything else.
Did you find that, like, so since Miles is new to becoming Spider-Man, did you find him a little like? The controls did they make it realism that he was inexperienced?
Well, let's come back to that in a sec. Let's let him finish what he was saying with the 2 modes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I definitely will talk about that for sure. I played him with fidelity mode for a bit. Looked amazing, ray tracing. But then I made the mistake of putting on performance mode, and I'll never go back. Holy shit!
60 frames is that fucking good?
It's so 30 frames feels so fucking slow to me. In my defense, I've been doing 60 frames since 2013 when I built my PC because I would always downgrade graphics to get that steady, faster frame rate. Once I put this on, my worry was that it was going to cut down the graphics and go 60 frames. It's not.
You generally don't notice it.
No, they didn't touch the graphics. The graphics are still like ultra settings. The only thing to get 60 frames they have to turn off is the ray tracing, just the light.
So that's what I mean. Like, even if they downgrade it to 1440p, they'd still like upscale it, and you wouldn't really notice.
Oh yeah, true. But no, it's 4K, still like ultra texture kind of settings, or at least the same as fidelity mode. It's just the ray tracing's turned off. So if you go by a window, it looks now just like a normal window without all that extra stuff, which looks beautiful. I'm glad I looked at it. But when it comes down to 60 frames or nicer lighting, fucking 60 frames just blew me away.
Speaking of frame rate, though, have you played with the Spider-Verse suit?
Yes.
Now, how weird is that?
Fuck. So here's the weird thing indeed. When you're doing, I tried it in both the 30 frames and 60 frame mode. 30 frame mode, it actually feels pretty normal because everything feels a bit slow. So when he's being a little bit extra weird, it's not so bad.
Because I think the frame rate in the movie, I think, is like 14 frames. I think it is.
It's like 12 or 14 frames a second.
They made him because that one scene where he is swinging with Peter Parker. they deliberately slowed down his frame rate to show he's more inexperienced.
Yeah, like it's now going to show up on the screen for stream for those who are curious. So that's kind of what it looks like, and it looks like it works, and that's what's really amazing about how well they did with this is that they made this incorporate with a game that's running at a different speed, and you don't feel like it's any different.
It doesn't feel any different at all. But when I went to the 60 frames per second, so every NPC, everything in the world is moving like liquid smooth. I had to turn it off because I was like, I can't. Like, I'm looking at these incredible graphics, these people moving all really quick as he's talking to like an NPC or like doing something crazy, and then he looks like he's just glitching in the world.
I think the suit is more suited for when you're just web slinging. I think that's probably when it works best.
Yes. Oh, but right away, as soon as you get this suit, you have a mod for your suit that lets you actually put this animation on any suit,
which is cool.
So no matter.
But I feel like you'd want to do it with the animation style anyway, because it kind of just suits it better.
Oh yeah, I did it on this one I played like an hour with it on with this suit. Then I turned that off, but left this suit on because it was sick.
So going back then, because Vish was asking about like what you thought about actually Miles Morales in comparison to say like Peter Parker, because we're so used to him.
Yeah, and Vishal, you're wondering if he seemed more inexperienced. I don't know if you could see in the video there, but as you're swinging around, Miles is not anywhere near as graceful when he's doing everything. When he's swinging, he's actually backwards sometimes. You can see that when he goes and swings, he's actually doing like this hand thing like he's falling. And it's because this takes place 1 year after the last Spider-Man, and Peter has been training him. And it does feel like he's got about a year's worth of training behind him. So you can see in the video there, he did it a bit. It's just like he's not web slinging anywhere near as graceful as Peter did in the game, but they kept the mechanics that it still feels like the last game. They didn't make it feel like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's keeping the mechanics but adding an extra level of detail.
Yes.
So Miles isn't going to kill himself while swinging.
I mean, you might.
Yeah, you might. Yeah.
Also, one thing I want to know, because we all saw Into the Spider-Verse, is Peter alive?
This has nothing to do with the Spider-Verse. Is just an extra suit.
Yeah. So Peter's been. Do you guys want me to tell you that?
Well, I think he's taking a vacation or something, right?
Yeah, he's just on a vacation. You can see here, or in a bit of video, he's left training modules to keep the training up and stuff like that. It's just MJ has to go to Europe for some reason, so Peter's going to go with her.
Shut up, Chris. It's the plot. Just fucking deal. Yeah. Take it.
Yeah, it's just plot.
It's the plot of Peter, not the plot of the game itself. I'm sure the plot is quite.
The plot of the game is amazing. I'm not going to spoil anything. Obviously, I want you guys to play this, and you will. I know
that. Isn't it amazing that like it used to be like we both finished Spider-Man first, and Chris was like, "I can't wait to play this," and now it's the opposite. He's got the first crack at it.
Yeah.
Oh well, when you're done with it, and I get my PS5, I'm stealing that off of you. So.
Off of me?
Yeah.
I did digital only.
Damn it! I forgot about that.
Chris, can I still break his legs if he doesn't pay you on time? Please, please.
Sure. So I have a couple bold statements about this, by the way. One,
okay.
Miles Morales is way more interesting and cooler than Peter Parker in the last game.
I believe that.
Yep. I've seen a lot of things saying that the character development in this game is much stronger.
Yes. Like there's something, maybe it also because it takes place in winter around Christmas time and all this other shit, but there's something about the story and the character. Like you just feel that much more for him than you did for Peter, even with like obviously not the ending of the last game, but like leading up to it. Like Peter feels like he's been doing it for a while and has seen some shit. You actually feel like for Miles, this is like he's seeing this shit for the first time. Like this is rough. Two, the music in this game has, first of all, an actual soundtrack. And when I say soundtrack, I don't just mean like an OST. I mean they got hip-hop songs and an actual like recorded songs for this game.
So they have a Spotify playlist.
Oh, both games are on Spotify. I listen to both games all the time. The music in this game is fucking sick because they will have like a Spider-Man-ish theme where it's all like, you know, orchestrated, like important things are happening music, and then all of a sudden this beat just comes into the back, and then all of a sudden some like really great lyrics where it's like, God damn, Miles is cool. Like it's just like they did it so
They
well.
really wanted to go for a much different feel. They wanted there to be a difference. Like not even just like a slight difference. They wanted there to be like a clear difference between the two games.
Yeah. They managed to make this game feel like a sequel to the last one, but also its unique character, where it's a different character and a different music, different animations, different feel, but same universe, same kind of powers, same all that. Like it's super, like they've done such a good fucking job.
Well, when I like a lot of times nowadays, Miles is being adapted into the Marvel mainstream. And Miles has been shown to be a cooler character, especially like he has this one ability where he has like a spider sting where you can actually zap somebody and like essentially kind of paralyze them, which is something Peter doesn't have.
Yeah, so he does have extra powers, which is cool because you unlock those in this game, like through the skill tree, and they're cool. Very cool. But yeah, the game is amazing. I'm going to play more. I'm going to platinum it because the side quests in this. Also, one little funny thing. While talking to Peter Parker, they made fun of the pigeon quest from the last game. Oh. I don't know what it was. It was like a small, like little hint, like you were doing a side quest, and it's like, oh, don't worry, we don't have to get any stupid pigeons or anything.
Yeah,
I was like, they're well aware that sucked in the last game.
Don't get him talking for 5 minutes about how much he hates the pigeon quest again.
I did it. Okay, I didn't go for 5. I just was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm not doing this shit. That's literally was it.
Yeah. But in this one, I haven't run into a single side quest I don't want to complete. So to me, I'm gonna platinum this game. I'm gonna do
one last question before you're ending this topic. The villains in this game, are they mainstream Spider-Man villains or are they their own villains?
I don't know if I want to hear that answer right now.
Yeah. I can tell you after, if you want to know like yourself, I'll tell you when Adam's.
Because I feel like that's information I want to find out.
Okay, message me tomorrow about that.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Yeah. Either way, game is amazing.
Anything else you want to add, or we're going to move on?
And I don't get why Spider-Cat, I was able to save him, but I haven't unlocked him yet. I need to Google this because this is driving me crazy. That's it. That's my last thing.
Well,
Adam Smash.
No, it's everyone Smash.
Oh.
So yeah, VCR Podcast. We are done the intro now. So this is a reminder to anybody watching the stream, watching the VOD, or listening to us on any audio platforms. If you are enjoying what's going on here, please give us all the love that you can, whether that means subscribing, following us, liking the video, or, giving a star rating on whatever service you use for audio platforms. Whatever that may be, any sort of help would be greatly appreciated.
Or just putting up with us. We appreciate
Well, if they're listening, they've already done that. That's no, I don't have to tell them that. They're already here. See, this is why you're not the host.
Oh.
But anyways, moving on to our first story, which honestly could have been a bad story and ended up just not being, but there was the Ubisoft fake terrorist call.
Oh, like, who called in a
You didn't hear that it was fake? It was a hoax. So somebody within the building seems to have called saying that there were 5 tanned people in there with guns, and it turned out that there was nothing. Okay. The only thing that people might be wondering is that maybe somebody was trying to rob the place or something, and people freaked out. But no, it just seems like it was just a full-on hoax.
Okay,
it's ridiculous.
So to quote Shaggy, it wasn't me. Also, frankly, I think someone was just being burnt out and just wanted to fucking get.
That's not burnout. That's beyond burnout.
Yeah, like
there's taking sick days and then there's calling in terrorism. Especially in the war right now, where already in Paris there's that going on, because this is in Quebec, by the way, in Canada, which is, there's already enough going on with people freaking out about Muslim terrorism in France, so I don't think you need to extend that any further here, which would not be ideal.
So have you ever heard of that phrase? I've used up all my sick days, so I'm just calling in dead. This person could have just pretty much called in dead. Like, it's a miracle.
Well, in a way, that's what this person was threatening at that point, so that doesn't really help.
Yeah,
but they would have called it from inside the building, meaning they still had to go into work.
Not to mention that what kind of goes a little bit undertold in the story, there was a daycare in that building, so there were children also that were locked in the dark.
Oh,
God. Like, why traumatize?
So, what he could have done is one day at one of my old jobs, I was so desperate to get away with calling in sick. So, on my way to work, I just kept screaming like a lunatic in my car to ruin my vocal cords. And I mean, the entire drive to work, I'm just like, at the top of my lungs. It worked so well, I couldn't talk for 3 days.
Why didn't you just call in sick? Why do that to your voice for 3 days?
He's not a good liar.
Oh my God. He literally fucked himself in order to get a day off.
I was that desperate to get off of work, okay?
Just smash your leg against a wall and break your knee. Just take the full week.
It's like that episode of Family Guy when Meg asks one of the kids out in shop class. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm going to be in the hospital tomorrow," and just shoots himself with a nail gun.
It's so it was actually the weekend we saw Deadpool, like Deadpool 1. That was the weekend that happened, because I remember going to the theater like, "Hey guys, my voice is bad," and it was.
You sure it wasn't just that your second ball finally dropped?
I don't think it was
both
that.
had the same joke.
No, but it's like, dude, you could have fucking just like found any way possible to call in instead of like I you know what? Considering how shitty of a company Ubisoft is, I get it. But a terrorist attack, that's a little.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to defend any. It doesn't matter how bad a company is. You don't do that, because it's not the company you're threatening. It's the lives of the people in the building you were threatening.
Yes, exactly.
Yves Guillemot was not affected by the Ubisoft Montreal office having a terrorist threat fake called in.
Yeah,
it's the people and the fucking kids in that daycare center that were fucking traumatized.
I didn't know there was a daycare, and that bothers me a lot.
Yep.
Yeah,
it bothers me a lot that somebody still did that.
When you have little children and you put them in a traumatic situation, dude, that's not cool. Not cool.
No, not at all.
But then maybe they won't play Ubisoft games, so maybe that's a silver lining.
True.
No one should be playing Ubisoft games at this point.
But speaking of things that people don't seem to like very much, PlayStation Plus.
Madden.
So a weird thing that seems to have come out is that you can't back up your PlayStation 5 game saves without PlayStation Plus. Now you can do PS4 games, but you cannot. You don't have access to the cloud storage, and you don't have access to exporting PS5 saves to USB. Which is weird.
Why no USB?
It's very USB? Weird. I feel like this is something that's going to get changed back, because there's going to be some backlash to this from like the people that do use this feature. I don't, because I'm a dumb fuck and assume that my console's never going to break and my saves will never get corrupted. But for those who actually use that service, it's kind of stupid to oh please, I can call myself a dumb fuck all the time. It's I that calls you the dumb fuck. That's how this works.
Vish, please.
No, Vish. Please, hashtag Vish, please.
Vish, please.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can do PS4 saves back and forth, but right now, at least at this time, and I think this is something that will change. It's probably going to have to change, because it seems like such a stupid omission.
Yeah,
like for a lot of people, it probably doesn't sound like much, but when you really think about it, it's like it's so innocuous. Where it's like, why isn't it just available?
To be entirely honest,
I've noticed
my save game data would make me fucking rage. Like,
well, no, but I mean, like, you're only backing it up in case something happens, and for most people, nothing happens. It's the people that just want to be feeling a little bit extra safe. Because how many of us back up our saves?
I always like to use the cloud.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so it's just me. Okay, good. So I'm the 1/3 dumb fuck on the show. Okay.
Yes.
It's still 33%, meaning 1/3, say, of all people can't access a feature they want to use.
That is this many and this many.
That's still huge. That's one thing I noticed with the PS5, the UI at least. There's certain features that seem to be missing that were there before.
Yeah, I think some things are still getting ready. Like there's a few like folders are now missing from PS5, which was in PS4. Like there's some things that are I think omissions right now, but I think it has less to do with they took them away so much as they just haven't put them in yet.
Yeah, that must be because like PS4, there was like a feed, wasn't there? I think it was like what's new or something. It showed.
Well, there is. I think there is like an activity feed that's already in the PS5. It's just a different way to access it. Because if I remember correctly, when they were showing the UI, there was like a whole like menu screen where it's showing like news and stuff.
Yeah, so that's only news of like game or official PS blog news so far.
Oh, okay. So, well, I mean, I'll figure it out when I fucking get mine. So I guess we'll know.
Maybe I have to go in there and find another app, but I don't know. I can't like when you take a screenshot right now, it doesn't. There's no way to post it to that feed. It's not there. You can either send it to Twitter or send it directly to a friend or a group chat on PS5, and that's it. Like, there's nowhere to put it.
Yeah, I mean, like at this point, I look at it the same way. Like every console, for some reason, there's stuff that just doesn't get brought over right away. Just I don't know whether or not like maybe some of these things just wasn't ready to put in, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was corrupting something else. Maybe they're still working on it, or maybe they just like, hey, we'll take it out because we like making you guys wait for shit because that's the entire year this has been. So who knows?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I have a feeling it's just some features weren't ready yet, so they were like, all right, we got to get the console out, so just that'll be an update in 3-6 months, a year, whatever.
But then there's other cases
it's gotta be.
Where Infinity Ward didn't neglect to put something in. They straight up gave it to somebody and didn't give it to the other. So Call of Duty Warzone, weirdly enough, you got 120 frames per second on Xbox Series X, but they didn't put it in PS5.
And is it a technical limitation or just an omission for no reason?
It is apparently it has to do with the previous generation. Apparently, the OS on Xbox can support 120 frames on Xbox One, but PlayStation 4 doesn't.
Yeah.
So for some reason, you can't just individually make PS5 120 frames, but PS4 you can just leave. I don't understand that idea, but whatever.
That's lazy devs. That's lazy devs.
Yeah, it's just a strange decision. But that's not it for Call of Duty. No. Apparently, if you're a PS5 user, you might accidentally be playing the PS4 version of Black Ops Cold War.
What?
I saw that.
So here's what this it's a very specific case.
Installing the wrong version.
So when you get the cross-gen version of the game, there is a chance that if you click download all instead of download just the PS5 version, the console might default to the PS4 version first. So it's not a big deal. It just change like if you just change the option, it's fine. But there's a lot of people that probably played the entire game and had no fucking idea they weren't even playing the best version of it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm wondering one thing with this.
Those people are...
So, I don't know, like with the visual upgrade between PS4 and PS5, it's not that significant. But what about the performance of it? So if you get the PS4 version on the PS5, will it still have that situation?
The PS5 is slightly upscaling because if you're playing on a PS5, like it's doing a little bit of upscaling regardless. Because when you install a game, for like when I get my PS5 and I put say Metal Gear Solid as I continue playing it into the PS5, it will reinstall the game, but it will also add something else into it if there has been optimization made for it. That includes like 60 frames, things of that nature. So you might still be playing a better version on the PS5 than the PS4. It just may not be the official PS5 version that has everything kept in mind, like the SSD.
Okay, that's the one thing I'm wondering. It's like if you by chance download
so there's a chance that you're playing the PS4 plus half, like the PS4 square version.
Or have the performance option where the load screens are essentially, or the loading times are.
I'm sure it's still better than if you played on a PS4. It's just
Oh yeah.
I guess you could say it's like a PS4.5 almost.
Yeah. So what'll happen is, like, all the performance stuff. So if the frame rate was unlocked, so it wasn't locked to 30 frames, it was just like a variable rate where it could go up, it'll automatically probably hit 60 frames per second on the newer hardware just because there's more power.
Yeah.
It'll load faster. The issue can happen when there's texture files, because if you have it where the textures of people's faces and the world around you, like all the assets in the actual game, there will be you actually have to install more files if the textures are bigger. Like you'll download a game, but then there'll be the 4K texture pack, which is the normal textures are for 1080p, but you install the 4K ones and they're like much more detailed, but take up a lot more space of your video card. So the PS4 version would have probably like 1080p textures, and the PS5 would have 4K textures, but you wouldn't even have those new textures if you play the PS4 version. So you're not even going to see the quality you could see. It won't be like a giant jump like PS4 to PS5. Again, not huge jump, but the textures will still not be as good as they could have been if you had installed the newer game that has the higher quality images.
What I'm thinking of, if let's just say someone made an honest mistake, download the PS4 version by mistake, and then realize, and then it's, unless if you see the actual upgrade, you probably would not notice.
That's, I mean, there's probably a few people that played the PS4 version and never knew. They just finished the game and didn't think anything
100%.
of it.
100%.
Which,
because a
again,
lot of this stuff,
it sounds kind of mean, but I think that's really fucking funny.
Oh, it is very funny.
It is.
Especially since those people are like, wow, these are crazy new graphics.
Yeah, can you imagine those people being like, man, this looks so good, because they're just trained to think that it must be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Yeah, because even when I was playing the new Spider-Man and I was on 30 frames, I was playing and I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't even that bad. This is fine. Like, how did I not, why did this ever bother me? Then I went to get 60 frames and then I was like, oh fuck, and can't go back.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of things don't look that different nowadays. It's just when you see them in succession, you're like, oh, okay, now I notice. But if you play in fidelity mode and then somebody turns it to performance, you probably won't pay attention if it's like a couple days later. You just won't think anything of it, right?
You'd be like, wow, game's running real good today. Just... yeah.
So I feel like torturing Chris as we move on to this next story. So Chris's ultimate problem is that he has a constant backlog. And at this point, Sega, upon the success of Persona 4 Golden, says they're planning on doing more remasters and remakes and releasing more stuff to PC since P4G had such Steam success. Which means that more Persona games could be available down the road.
Fuck, I haven't even got this one yet.
So, like, even a couple of games, because I thought, I'm like, what games could Sega actually put out specifically from, because it's specifically Atlus's catalog they talked about. So, again, all the Persona games, which include the fighting games, no less. That could also include the Arena Fighters, which are fucking great fighting games.
I forgot they had those, yeah.
There's also the Tokyo Mirage Sessions that was a Wii U game, which was like Fire Emblem mixed in Persona. There was Dragon's Crown, which people on PS3 might remember, which was this really beautiful, like almost like cartoony drawn side-scroller action RPG, which is pretty cool.
Sorry, what's it called again?
Dragon's Crown.
Okay.
And then the last one, I'm sure you guys remember this one, or at least like Chris might. Do you remember Trauma Team?
No.
Or Trauma Center?
Trauma Center. That's Atlus?
Yeah, that's Atlus. The Wii cut people open surgeon simulator.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
It had like such a sick story too and shit. Oh fuck yeah, I'd pick those up instantly.
And that's even just a couple examples. There's a lot of stuff that they could go back into and go through, because there's also like there's the Etrian Odyssey games. There's Odin Sphere, I believe. So there's a lot of stuff they could pick back.
It's Operation the video game.
It's Operation the anime video game, more or like, but yeah. But yeah, I just thought that was cool because I'm like, everybody loved Persona 4 Golden. I said that from the very beginning. As soon as it got put on Steam, I'm like, JRPG lovers are going to be so fucking happy they can play this on PC now. And as soon as it got rave reviews because they did a great job porting it, I'm like, okay, well, you have to put 3 and 5 on there as well. And not just 3 or 5, you have to put 3 FES and 5 Royal, because if you're going to give them 4 Golden, like the best version, you might as well give them the best version of 3 and 5. So, yeah, and that's just those games alone. If they can put a bunch of other stuff in there, like, again, there's a lot of good stuff in the, like, a lot of people who don't have any familiarity with Japanese games really don't know like how incredible a developer Atlus has quietly been. Like, Persona is really when they finally got noticed, and they were doing a lot of great stuff before that. So,
and the thing is with these Sega PC ports, like I've played not all, I played 1, but a bit of a 2. Yakuza games and stuff like that. I've seen the reviews of this. Sega is known for having really, really good PC ports, so I wouldn't hesitate to pick up any of this. Like, if it's any of the games I'm interested in and my backlog goes down at all, which it won't, I will absolutely pick up, especially Trauma Center.
Yeah,
Holy
absolutely.
shit.
There's some cool stuff with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to depress Chris more with his like massive backlog that is now about to get even worse now that he has 2 more consoles.
Yeah. It's going to be strategic. It's a strategic approach these days.
So, last thing to talk about is the Game Awards, which will be December 10th. How many years have they been doing it now? 3 or 4, I think.
Oh no, I think longer because I remember.
Well, I mean, I'm not counting the Spike version. I'm counting like once they went solo.
Oh yeah.
Because it used to be on Spike TV for a long time, and I know this because I remember the last memory I can have of it was when Red Dead Redemption came out and they had Jose Gonzalez play the song "Far Away" from that game live, and like every gamer in the world was like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing," and none of them had heard of this guy before this game, which made it amazing.
Yeah. And I remember, I think it was 2014, maybe 2013, but I think it was 2014. The Game Awards always used to have a thing that if you voted for the awards, because a lot of these were actually voted on by players and stuff, that when you voted, you got to choose between one of 2 free games on PC, like Steam games.
Yeah.
And I remember that I created another account specifically so I could vote twice and get both games. It was like Civilization 5 and Mafia 2, which at the time were pretty big games. So I used to love the Game Awards because it was like, not only do I get a free game, but I then get to watch an award show after and see if like what I wanted to win.
And they do some cool stuff. So like, I think, was it last year that they had Imagine Dragons with Koji Kondo?
Yes.
And like,
was that the year before?
I know. Well, it may have been that, maybe in the year before. But either way, like a lot of people don't like Imagine Dragons because gamers tend to also be a little more hipsterish or likely to be hipsterish, and they think that anything mainstream is big. But when you put them with Koji fucking Kondo, they're kind of like, oh, they're not so bad.
Yeah. Oh, that was so sick. Oh, that was such good music. I wish I could download that somewhere, like on Spotify.
So yeah, so the nominees for 2020 have been put out. So I'm going to go through, we're not going to go through every category because let's be honest, like we don't actually know most of the games, or like there's esports awards, which are really dumb. Like esports awards just make no sense. Like if you're not in that scene, all of this is just nothing for everybody. So that's like the point in the show where it's like, this is almost like when you watch like the Oscars and you're like, oh, here's all the stuff about screenplay and shit that no one cares about.
I don't know. Screenplay I don't mind.
But you don't know what the screenplay looks like.
I don't know. It's the script and dialogue, and I think screenplay isn't so bad. I look at more as the dialogue as opposed to anything else with screenplay.
Well, but either way, like when you're watching the Oscars, most people are just going and being like, I saw that movie, that was good, that person was good, and the music was cool. Like that's about as far as they go. Then you get into like lighting and script writing and screenplay, and you're like, okay, slow the fuck down.
I have never seen an award for just lighting.
There is a lighting award.
There's no lighting award.
Is there not? Maybe it's like one of the ones they put on like to the side where they don't talk about it.
That would be art direction, and there is one for sound.
Whatever, I don't give a fuck about the Oscars. That tells you how much knowledge I fucking have of them.
Okay.
So we're going to start from the very top. I'm just leaving, like for anybody watching the stream, I'm just leaving it here because I have 2 different things. I have a list because the problem with the website, excuse me, is my voice is starting to go for some reason. They don't put all the games in a format that you can see them all at once, so I actually have to click an arrow to move them over. And I'm not literally doing this for every category, so we're leaving it here. So this is the games of the year, and you can just kind of figure out from there. But game of the year, every category, I think it's like 5 or 6 they usually put in. I'm going to pick specifically the ones that I think we'll have an opinion on, or at least like a guess. Most of us haven't played these games. I think it's more or less what we think will probably go based on what we see online about how it's being talked about.
I think it goes to Tsushima.
So, Game of the Year, the full list is Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Last of Us Part 2. I think there's no chance it's not Last of Us Part 2.
I think it's going to be Ghost of Tsushima.
If I'm putting betting odds, it's Last of Us Part 2. And then by a landslide.
Imagine it's Animal Crossing.
The only game that I think actually has a chance to beat Last of Us Part 2 is Hades, because Hades is super hot right now.
So what is Hades? I haven't even heard of it.
It is, oh my god. Because
have you ever played Bastion, Transistor,
can you post a YouTube video? I just want to see it a little.
I mean, sure, I can put it on the stream in just a sec here. This is the oh god, wait, I'm still in Chrome. Oops, ignore that. Ignore that part. I clicked the wrong window. I'm supposed to be on Vivaldi. Jesus Christ, Vivaldi when I'm using YouTube. This is the problem with talking for 2 hours. You eventually fuck something up. So let's see. Hades gameplay.
I forgive you.
And it'll probably show up a little bit later in the stream for you guys, but this is what it looks like. So yeah, it's very much like Bastion Transistor. It's like a top-down, like hack and slash sort of game. But it's been like it's the indie darling right now, and the art style is phenomenal. So it's got that added effect where it looks amazing. It's the indie darling, and it's so fresh right now that it can probably get a few more votes than you would think it would.
This game I've been keeping an eye on because the Switch version and the PC version are supposed to get in November. It may have already happened, but get cross save, so you can play on Switch, take it with you. But it's one of the ones that you can then come home and play on your gaming PC, more powerful and stuff. And it's from the guys who did Bastion, Transistor, Pyre. The last one.
Yeah, they did some great games. Supergiant's really good. But I really do believe that just because of how critically acclaimed and how high the ratings for every journalist out there said that Last of Us Part 2 is amazing, that I have a really hard time believing that doesn't get the votes. Because I can already write off Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and no offense, I can take away Ghost of Tsushima because it wasn't a blowaway game. It didn't get that level of rating. Hades and Last of Us 2 are the ones that are so critically acclaimed that I think it's either of those two. And I really would lean just Last of Us Part 2 anyway. Yeah, just because it is the AAA game, whereas Hades is the indie darling. Because I'm sure there's an indie game award somewhere, and Hades is on that list, and that's probably where it'll get its acclaim.
Oh, if there's best indie game, it's got it. It has it for sure.
But yeah, like I fully believe Last of Us Part 2. I think, Chris, you're the only one that didn't have an answer yet, because Vish was saying Tsushima.
I would have to go with Last of Us Part 2. Don't get me wrong, a part of me wants Animal Crossing to win just because it was such a huge March and April.
You want to just justify all the time you spend looking at turnip prices. Let's be honest here.
Yes, and also I would like to justify that because somehow it didn't turn into real money.
Chris, what about Madden 2021?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Shut up. We're moving on.
I'm going to play Madden on my fucking Xbox with Game Pass, and I'm going to tell you how horrible it is one day.
Game direction, very similar. The only difference is you take out Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing and replace it with Half-Life Alyx. So it's the other 4 games that were already listed, just Half-Life Alyx listed to it. I almost feel like Half-Life Alyx has a chance for game direction just because of how incredible a VR experience it was.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay of that, and it looks insane.
But I would still also lean to Last of Us Part 2 as well. It's hard to tell.
Can you post a video of Alyx, please?
Half-Life Alyx? Don't you have a phone? Do I have to do this for everyone?
That would be nice. I appreciate that.
God damn it.
God,
I'm not doing... Okay, I'm doing this, and this is the last time I'm doing it. I don't care if you need it. I don't care. This show will take 5 hours if I have to show you every fucking game.
Can you show me what a Final Fantasy looks like?
Oh my god. So here's a video of Jacksepticeye fucking playing it because that's the first search and I don't feel like looking that hard.
God, this game looks crazy. Game?
That's a VR game.
VR.
Oh, VR. What happened to his arm?
Don't worry about it.
It's a VR game.
But it's a VR game. What else do you fucking want? Jesus.
It's like that scene from Scary Movie 2. Take my hand.
No, it wasn't actually. Stop. But direction, because it depends on what they're talking about.
White Claws?
If they're talking about like how the game was played out, maybe I would give it to Half-Life. But if they're more referring to like how the story is directed, it's going to go to Last of Us Part 2, I would think. But again, I'm opening up to Hades as well, because you never know. Hades is that weird underdog that might just creep up on shit.
Honestly, that's like the whole thing. That's what I'm really missing a lot about EGLX, because this time last year, I think we were at EGLX, and if not a few weeks before, and it's like you get to see those indie games. And
Hades would not have been at EGLX. It's Supergiant would not be at something like that. That's not that level of indie. The level of indie that we see is like small studios that have no funding.
I'm not talking about any specific game itself, but just like you see these indie games, and there's a lot of hidden gems there, and you're
I'm trying to explain it more in the fact that like Hades does not even fall remotely close to that. Like Hades almost is like a AAA equivalent of indie.
Yeah,
most likely Hades is just like the bridge between indie and actual mainstream.
I mean, Supergiant at this point pretty much is like mainstream because they've made so many hits now that I don't think people look at them as indie anymore.
No. You expect perfection with them. And, I mean, they deliver every single time, which is crazy.
So this is the one that I don't actually know the answer to, because this one could be anything. Most anticipated game. This is a fucking good list. Elden Ring, which is the next From Software game, so all the Souls people are fucking looking forward to that. Halo Infinite, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, Ragnarok, Resident Evil Village, and Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. That's a list. That's a list.
For me personally, it's definitely going to be God of War.
See, for me, it's Horizon, but I don't think that's the winner. I think Horizon's like almost the one I can take out, like easily.
Really?
Yeah, I don't believe Forbidden West has the same value that Breath of the Wild would, so I can already take that out. I can already eliminate Elden Ring because it's just one segment of fans. I can eliminate Horizon because Breath of the Wild trumps it, and I can eliminate Resident Evil Village because Resident Evil has only been good again for one game, so everybody's not that into Resident Evil still. So it really is Halo, God of War, and Zelda.
I disagree with the fact of like Resident Evil has only been good for
okay,
one
but
game.
I'm still going to go to the fact that it's still niche because it's horror and it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Yeah, it won't have the same popularity that like Breath of the Wild or Halo or God of War is going to have.
I think it comes down to God of War or Legend of Zelda just because Halo's had the rough start.
Okay, yeah, I feel like
you have finished Breath of the Wild, am I correct?
Sorry, me?
Well, it's obviously not me.
Oh, yeah, yes, I have.
Okay, so with Breath of the Wild, is there room and options? Like, is it?
How do we know that it has anything to do with the first game?
For this game,
every Zelda can have a sequel because it always takes place a few years later, and then they wake up on an island and have to do something.
We don't even know if Breath of the Wild literally has anything to do with the second one because we haven't seen any footage of it.
No, it just had like a teaser trailer where they find some bones in a cave. So it could be a prequel or a sequel time-wise.
For all we know, it could be an actual, like, you play a Zelda game, right? So
hey, it could be.
If I was to put my money on something, I'd say it's God of War just because, like, we've seen at least what it's going to be. Whereas Breath of the Wild sequel, like, that's the thing. It's literally listed as Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel.
Yeah, because there's no name. I'm gonna vote for Nintendo here and go with Zelda. I'm gonna go Breath of the Wild. Yeah, because there's a lot of people that would be, if that was coming out, like the hype would crush the earth.
I'm really surprised actually that Adam chose God of War
because it really was like it's the biggest Sony game on that list. Like I'm not kidding myself.
Sony game for sure.
When we have the PS5 right now, which could again be the console that wins this generation. That's the biggest game that's coming to that console. As much as I love Horizon, God of War Ragnarok will be the biggest game that comes to that console in that between that list.
Whenever you're done Jedi Fallen Order, I want you to play God of War.
I mean, I don't think I'll do it just because I'm not interested. But I mean, it depends on my backlog too. Because again, if I'm going to choose between God of War, also I'm not playing Jedi Fallen Order probably for a while because by the time I finish Metal Gear Solid, fucking Cyberpunk might be out. So.
Yep.
And not to mention, Persona 5 Royal might go on sale. Ghost of Tsushima might go on sale. Trails of Cold Steel 4 might go on sale. Yakuza Like a Dragon might go on sale. There's a lot of potential to keep me away from playing God of War.
I told you how long ago to buy Trails of Cold Steel.
Like a couple of weeks ago? It's not that long. Anyways, moving on. Art direction. I'm skipping, like I said, a few of them because I don't think we really have an opinion. Like narrative, we don't really have much of an opinion on. Score music, we don't listen to all the games, so that doesn't really count. Art direction, choices are Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and Last of Us Part 2. I think that's where Hades gets its first award.
Yeah, that or honestly, Will of the Wisps. I don't know if you guys have seen what that looks like, but
I definitely have.
Beautiful. Like so that could be a contender. But yeah, Hades probably.
I look at Hades on that one. I was tempted to go Ghost of Tsushima, and then I went, no, I think Hades has got that extra like bit of it with it being like the cell, not cell shaded, but like very artistic.
Yeah.
I am gonna probably go for Ghost of Tsushima just because of the attention to detail in the environments and the game mechanics. I'm probably gonna go for Ghost of Tsushima.
Let's see here. Audio design, Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, and Last of Us Part 2. That one's tough.
Audio?
Yeah, just strictly audio design.
I hate it, but I would probably give it to Doom because of the amount of demons in one room.
I would almost lean to Half-Life Alyx because, the VR experience with audio being that much more intrinsic.
Yeah, I'd have to hear what the audio's like for Half-Life Alyx because I haven't seen much audio-wise. Where Doom, I've seen some gameplay and stuff, and like the sound, the metal, the horror.
I mean, this one you could just toss up, right?
Yeah,
that's why
because they all kind of deserve it.
That's why I would say Doom because of the so many elements in the audio that it's insane.
Let's see here. Performance, best performance. So Ashley Johnson as Ellie from Last of Us Part 2. I assumed everybody would know, but I figure I should say it anyway. Laura Bailey, who is Abby in Last of Us Part 2. Daisuke Tsuji, who is Jin in Ghost of Tsushima. Logan Cunningham as Hades in, you guessed it, Hades. And I'm going to butcher this fucking name. Naji Jaterm as Miles Morales. And I figure it's probably going to be Ashley Johnson. I figure Last of Us Part 2 has to get this one.
Yeah, that
just for the narrative. I just don't know whether it would be Ellie or Abby. That's the only thing I wouldn't know, right?
I would give it to Ellie.
This one I'm going to rush through just because I know the answer to this, and if it isn't this, I'm actually going to be upset. It's Games for Impact. You're not going to know almost any of these, but it's If Found, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition, Spiritfarer, Tell Me Why, and Through Darkest of Times. If it is not Tell Me Why for being the first game to have a non-binary main protagonist, I will be fucking furious. And it has nothing to do with social justice. If we're talking impact, that's what it should be.
Impact was the category.
Games for Impact, the first trans main character, because we're not talking Poison, we're not talking like minor, we're talking main fucking character. That's Impact.
Sorry, which game?
So Hades.
It's called Tell Me Why. I talked about it on the podcast maybe about a month or so ago when I was playing that.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Adam. Which game?
Well, then stop fucking talking. Tell Me Why, which was the game that I talked to you guys about. I'm skipping on now because fuck you. Anyways. Ongoing game.
Oh, wow.
Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. I figure it's probably Call of Duty Warzone at this point just because Fortnite's kind of died down.
Yeah, because that was the big thing that came out during the pandemic. It was like Call of Duty Warzone was.
I figured just because it's popular right now. Because I mean, Fortnite's still the big thing, but Warzone's kind of like just more fresh. And I don't think you can keep giving awards to Fortnite.
Yeah, I don't want them to get any more.
Yeah, I know it's.
I'm done with it. Yeah. You can die now.
So I'm sad about this one. Indie game. Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. I'm like, fuck, there would have been Fall Guys' chance, and Hades just shows up being like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So that's not even a question. It's Hades.
Hades is going to take that? Oh, but I mean, all of those I haven't played. Obviously, many. I've only played.
But anybody who pays attention to gaming news knows that Hades is killing it. Not to mention, Hades is the only game on that list that has Game of the Year nominations. So by logic,
yeah. But like all the games in that category are actually quite good.
Okay, so Hades is on Switch and on PC.
I don't think Hades is officially on Switch yet.
No, it is on Switch.
Oh, is it? I thought you were mentioning you're waiting for it for Switch.
No, there's an update that's coming for cross save. I'm waiting for it to go on sale because if I'm buying it on both and my backlog is what it is, I'm buying it in like 5 years.
Now.
Sorry?
Hades, how much is it on Steam right now?
Well, I think it's like a $20 game, so it would be $20 to buy it on both. It only came out in August.
Is there a co-op option for is it a game that you can all play?
I think this one's player? Like it's a roguelite where every time you die, you have to start over, and it regenerates the world, and it's different each time.
God.
But it's addictive. My friend on Steam from Germany, he's 130 hours played in Hades. 130 hours in Hades, and I think he's only beat it once. Yeah. The Remember the Game podcast you and I listened to, the guy Adam from that, he's played it on Switch for like 40, 50 hours.
Fuck, we have too many Adams. Do we really need another one?
I mean,
you probably don't even remember the fucking 3 that we know. So there you go. Anyway,
what's an Adam?
Hashtag Vish, please. Speaking of games that are going to easily win, mobile game, Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix. Yeah, I don't think that's a question. Everybody knows it's going to be Pokemon Cafe Mix.
Among Us. What? What just happened? It's funny because I have that game on Switch. I have Cafe Mix. It's a lot of fun, but like, it's because everything else is not installed yet, so you have to fucking play a stupid Pokemon Cafe game. It's Among Us. Don't fuck with me.
I know.
What the fuck?
VR game, Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Iron Man VR. Now, you know, before I get to this next one, you're probably thinking, oh, Half-Life Alyx easily. Star Wars Squadrons is on that list. Along with Walking Dead Saint and Sinners, which apparently is also pretty good. But Squadrons, from what I've heard, is really good with VR.
Yeah.
I still think it's Half-Life Alyx, but Squadrons makes it interesting.
Yeah, I think that's good because they put Half-Life Alyx was built for VR from the ground up, so it's hard to compete with it because they made a full-fledged 15-hour game in VR, which is crazy. But Squadrons is such a cool experience, I assume.
You know what's not cool?
Oh, that's tough.
Us doing a live show and Vish leaving it twice already.
Man's gotta pee.
I'm not even waiting for him anymore. Action game, Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, Streets of Rage 4. I think Doom probably takes that one.
Sorry.
Yeah, Doom would make sense.
Oh, look, now he shows up.
We're done. We finished all of them.
Yeah, everything's over now.
Finished all of them.
Action game was Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. I figured Doom Eternal has to pick at least something up. I figured this is probably it.
Yeah, for action, because it is insane action.
Yeah, this would make sense
insane
for
action.
Doom Eternal.
Action adventure, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel Spider-Man, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Last of Us Part 2. Obviously, you would assume Last of Us Part 2, but the Game Awards is weird in that they try to spread them out a bit.
I would think either Miles Morales or Ghost of Tsushima.
My gut would tell me Miles Morales, just because I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere else. Yeah. I figure they want to give it something. Yeah, but it's still a pretty decent run. Apart from Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is, as much as I know that it's probably pretty good, it's still niche in comparison to these other 5.
Yeah, because it's a platformer Metroidvania.
Yeah, whereas you're going up against Viking death, samurai death, web shooting, lightsaber death, and just really depressing death.
So web shooting because there's no death. Perfect. That's my choice.
Unless you're telling us something that hasn't been spoiled yet. Anyways, RPG.
Miles kills.
This one's a little bit easier.
Has little knives in it.
This one's a little bit easier, but I'm also torn because I love all these things. Final Fantasy VII Remake for RPG, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Here's the thing. I know it's probably Final Fantasy VII, but Genshin Impact is getting a lot of attention. Persona 5 Royal has that pedigree of just being really popular among RPG enthusiasts, and Yakuza needs so much more attention. Like, I almost want to give Yakuza the award just so more people understand they should be playing these games.
Which Yakuza?
Yeah, true. I'm gonna go with
the sequence.
Like a Dragon technically isn't a number, but if you had to give it one, it's 7.
It's 7, right?
It just doesn't have a number because it has nothing to do with the main character of the previous 6.
Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, it's like a new series.
Kiryu, yeah, but Kiryu is not this is the first Yakuza game without him as the central character, so.
Oh, okay.
It's the reason why it's not numbered, because technically Yakuza 6 is the end of his arc.
Okay, so it's kind of like a side game from the original.
I don't know if this is a side game. I think they might have moved on from Kiryu, because Kiryu is getting to a point where he's getting too old.
Yeah, story-wise,
he's become Vito?
No,
he's not that old. But yeah, I figure it's Final Fantasy VII. That's my guess. It seems pretty fair. Again, it's the game of the year, but it hasn't won anything. And if it's the game of the year and the only one in its category, it probably should win it.
Yeah.
Fighting game.
I think that's going to take it.
Fighting game is weird because I didn't know that 3 of these games were this year. But Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which I still need to fucking play because Arc Systems Works makes such good fighting games. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, which Vish is very mad at because now that's coming out, and now it's all the stuff in one disc. Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition, and then I didn't know about any of these games being launched. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, and I didn't know this game even existed. Under Night in Birth, and apparently it had a second game, Under Night in Birth EXE : late bracket CL-R bracket, because fuck Japan. It's probably Mortal Kombat.
I want that one to win.
Okay, can I
want the last one because of its name.
One thing before I get made fun of. How would you feel if you spent $50 on the Ultimate Edition of a game and then found out a month later, oh, we're gonna unleash an Ultimate 2.0? It's also another $50. Is that not ridiculous?
I mean, is it retarded? Yes, but that's why we don't buy fighting games right away.
I
don't buy fighting games right away because
I waited almost over a year to buy it.
Did it come with any DLC?
Yeah, it did.
How much?
Pretty much everyone.
The first season pass.
Yeah.
So it's a fighting game.
They came
no
out with
offense, but that's what fighting games do now. So
yeah, but okay. So I bought a version of Mortal Kombat 11, which is Mortal Kombat XL.
That's not 11.
Yeah, it was Mortal Kombat XL.
XL was basically what Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is.
Yeah. And then Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and it's like Gold Edition. He's like, okay, I got everybody now. Then all of a sudden, you know what?
I don't think they planned on doing Aftermath. That's what I think happened. I don't think they planned on doing another thing, and it just happened to come out.
Yeah, it was fucking shitty. I was...
My wonder is that maybe they were thinking about what the next Mortal Kombat was going to look like, and they said, shit, no, I don't think we're ready for this. Let's wait until the new consoles come out so we can play with that. So, like, okay, what do we do in the meantime? So that's probably why they came up with what Aftermath was. Yeah. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it was... Yeah. This was completely a shitty move.
Vish being salty aside, I think Mortal Kombat does win that award.
Probably.
I think so.
Because, I mean... It's 4 anime fighters and a game that honestly shouldn't even be up for nomination because Street Fighter V has been out for way too fucking long. So it's really Grand Blue.
You can't just add...
It's really Grand Blue versus MK11 because the other games nobody's even played. And I'm like, okay, well that makes it really easy. Family game.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, which is the easy winner. But actually, that's not true. Shit. It's a 50-50, honestly. Animal Crossing, Crash Bandicoot 4, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live, which is the one they have to buy the little racing car for, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario the Origami King. It's either Animal Crossing or Fall Guys. The only reason I say Animal Crossing is because, as much as I hate to say it, Fall Guys is almost dead already.
Really?
And I don't think it's as much of a family...
Fall Guys is super family.
My colleague
family friendly. I don't
about it, and she was saying like she's obsessed with it.
What? Fall Guys?
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Fall Guys, yeah.
Okay, here's the thing though. I'm not saying Fall Guys is dead, like nobody cares about it anymore. No, Fall Guys is dead because Among Us happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Fall Guys has kind of lost that
Guys
luster. If this was a month ago, Fall Guys would probably win this in a landslide.
And Fall Guys they sold over 10 million copies on Steam.
Yeah.
Already. I mean, even if it died right now, they'd be like, yeah, good enough. We did it. Like, what else do you do with that?
So I'm passing down the list.
It made so much money.
We're at Sports Game. I'm not doing the award because no one cares. Madden actually isn't listed, so that's all we need to know. Madden's not on the list.
Bullshit. That's
not
bullshit. It should be fucking on that list.
The winner of this is likely going to be Tony Hawk 1 and 2. That's the game that I'm picking out of that.
Ooh, see, that I care about. That's the kind of sports game I like.
Multiplayer game. What? This is going to be interesting. Animal Crossing, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, Valorant. That's a pretty interesting list.
Oh my god.
I'm going with Call of Duty on that
I think it's
one.
Among Us, honestly. Again, I'm going the popularity vote right now.
Among Us. Yeah, see if this I feel like it's also timing of the year. If this was April, Animal Crossing would have taken it. If this was August, Fall Guys would have taken it. If it's now, Among Us is probably going to take it.
And that's the last award.
Yeah, so probably Among Us.
Because everything else is esports or content creators, which, I mean, actually, you know what? Yeah. Content creator of the year, it should be Tim the Tapman, because that motherfucker spent so long not winning Fall Guys games on stream, so he should just get that as out of sympathy.
Actually, yeah, I'm curious. Who are the
I've never heard of
creators,
the other. I've heard of two of them. Alana Pierce, who ironically just got a job at Sony's Santa Monica.
Job at Santa Monica.
Yeah. J. Ann Lopez,
she's awesome.
Nick Merckx, and Valkyrie.
No,
it's Valkyrie, but instead of the I,
it's
Nay. So I think it's Valkyrie. But yeah, I've never heard of any of those three. So again, those are the categories I don't like, because I'm not 14 and spending all my time on Twitch, so I have no idea.
I mean, that one's either going to be Alana Pierce or Tin the Tapman.
I mean, it might be any of the other three, just because we don't know who the fuck they are. So
yeah, true. They're just as big as Ninja, and we've just somehow never heard of them.
Yeah, somehow. But yeah, that's it for the Game Awards.
I've heard Alana Pierce. Yeah, because Alana Pierce I've listened to on podcasts. She's guested a lot. She does voice work for certain games. She helped write some part of a game. That's why she got the job at Santa Monica and stuff. She's actually pretty incredible.
So normally this would be when the show ends. I had a bit, and since I don't have to work for the next two days, because I have the next 2 days off because Cyberpunk was supposed to be out during this time, I have a fun little bit for you guys, and it's going to be more fun because I want to see Chris's reactions, because he has no real knowledge of any of this stuff. So to get his opinion on these things would be much more interesting. So I'm going to switch my screen in the Discord for you guys so you can see what's going on. In the meantime, I will flip the browser. So I'm going to try to do this simultaneously.
Everyone, Adam joined a football fantasy league.
No, that's definitely not it. So I want to do something fun with you guys. So the NHL came out with its retro reverse jerseys for this year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I want to see... So, Chris, you're going to need to look at the Discord screen that I'm sharing as we go through this. And I want to get everybody's thumb... Oh, God, I forgot to... Oh, God, I fucked this up on the Discord. Why did I do that? Oh, no. Oh, no, I did a bad thing. I did a very bad thing. Hang on, I'm going to shut this off and try it again. I forgot that I can't look at this on Discord because I'm using the Discord for your webcams. That was a mistake. Anybody listening to some of the audio stream is being like, what is this idiot doing? In which case, it's being a terrible streamer.
While we wait for Adam's dumbassery to be repaired.
My dumbassery is done.
Okay.
So you guys should be able to see my screen. Yep. And now I'm on Google Chrome where this is on, not Discord like a dumbass. So we're good now. So I'm not asking for grades. I just want thumbs up, thumbs down, and then by the end we'll just say which one we like the most. Because if we give grades, it's going to get so convoluted.
Yeah.
Are we doing thumbs up on video?
Thumbs up on video, thumbs down on video. But I mean, you say it out loud anyway, right? You can be as expressive on the camera as you want.
If it's NHL for Bruins, it's an automatic thumbs down.
We're doing all of them. It's all 31.
All of them.
In alphabetical order. So we start with, and I guess I should say in advance, apologies to the audio stream. This is about the point that the podcast is over. So I apologize for that. This is a stream bit now. So
you know what?
actually, you know what? I'll do it right now. If you are listening to this on an audio platform, thank you so much for listening to us, and we'll see you on the next week. This is the video portion of the show left. If you want to see this portion, come check out either my Twitch highlight, if twitch.tv/csradical or youtube.com/csradical for the VOD there. In the meantime, we will go back to video here. In Videoland, where we start off with the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, it's not the one I wanted, so this is definitely a thumbs
Well, this
down.
is the thing too, right? This is already a bad jersey from when it first started, and I understand that like everybody's like hoping that the Disney Mighty Ducks jerseys come back. They will never come back because Disney will never license it back. That's the honest truth. Disney owns the license to the movie jersey, so they can't do that. They tried to do it a couple years ago, but they had to change the colors because it couldn't be exact, so it didn't look right. It looked almost like a cheap knockoff. But yeah, for me, I look, I don't think your jersey should have someone wearing your jersey on the jersey. That's my rule. The jersey is of somebody wearing a jersey. No.
For me, because I like the duck.
The Arizona Coyotes.
Okay. The one on the left, I love that one.
Yeah, but we're looking at the right. The right's the only one we care about.
Okay, then no.
I like it enough. It's just it almost looks a little bit corny with the bottom bit, but I still like it enough that I think it actually looks pretty snazzy, especially with the orange and purple like detailing.
I don't like the bottom of it. It looks too Halloween. Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Okay, well there's Vish's automatic thumbs down.
Yeah. You know what?
That's thumbs down for me because that's boring. Fuck that.
It actually is.
Okay, so this is where Leaf fans will probably try to kick me out. I actually like this jersey because it's simplistic enough that it's something that you could actually wear and not feel embarrassed by wearing. If you're in Boston wearing this jersey, you don't feel embarrassed. If you're wearing like the old like 90s like shit brown like striped Boston Bruins jersey with the full-on bear on it, yeah, it's a little bit weird. This one, you at least look like a fan like just walking around downtown with it. I don't think there's a problem with it. I think that works.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
True.
I hate it.
The Buffalo Sabres taking the old red and black ones and switching it to their own colors. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that one. I think that one looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
I actually think it looks pretty good with the colors. I would have preferred a blue jersey rather than a white jersey, but I can't be that complaining of it.
Yeah, blue jersey would have been better. Blue with like white in the middle instead of white with blue in the middle.
Actually, you know what?
I'm still
Never mind. I'm
gonna give
giving
it
it
a
a thumbs
thumbs
down because I forgot about the buffalo on the bottom and it looks horrible.
What does that say? Buffalo?
Yeah, that's buffalo on the bottom.
Oh.
It's
Well,
like
looks
we
a weird
know.
belt. Thumbs
We
down.
know. It's way too obnoxious. It's like when you see
I
those
didn't notice that.
NHL jerseys, or not NHL jerseys, the hockey jerseys out in like in Europe where they have like a million fucking things on it. Like that's what that reminds me of. It's just like taking up too much space for fucking font.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
Calgary Flames, the Blasty jersey.
You know what?
I like it.
Thumbs up.
I like it.
I like it. I like that
I don't
one.
know.
If Ghost Rider had a horse.
Thumbs middle. Because if it was the classic C logo, I would.
But
like
then
it
it'd
a
be
lot
their
more.
jersey. That's their fucking jersey.
I'm not
Yeah.
a big fan of it. I'm not.
I've seen
really
people
not.
be
I
like,
like
they
this
should go
one.
with the old jersey. I'm like, that is their jersey.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it.
Carolina Hurricanes going back to the old Hartford Whalers.
Oh, no,
I always
really
thumbs up old teams. That's just my rule of thumb. Unless they did the California Golden
I'll
Seals, that
thumbs up.
jersey looks like shit.
I like this one.
The Blackhawks one, I'm a thumbs in the middle because I don't really have an opinion either way. It's really old school, but the jersey itself is like I don't feel anything on it.
Why
You know
are we
what?
getting a side view?
Actually, I like it.
It's how the official advertisement comes out of it. I don't know why they do that.
The
Actually, you know
color
what?
scheme.
You're right.
Yeah, why
Thumbs
sideways?
down for
Like-
not showing the whole jersey in their promo pic.
Oh, fuck this. Thumbs down. I don't even know what this jersey is.
I like this jersey. The color scheme is nice, and it's the logo. That's one of the few logos that's never changed. I'm okay with that one. I like it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a logo that has a circle around it, but yeah. This is a fucking great jersey. The Colorado
yeah,
Avalanche. Again, immediate
that-
thumbs up for old retro teams.
Yeah.
And
I
to
like that.
incorporate it with their colors, that looks pretty good.
that's the team that team needs to come back one day.
I mean, it might. We'll see what happens in the lockouts and all these teams start losing money. What happens when Arizona fucking has even less fans? The Columbus Blue Jackets, I have no opinion on this because I don't consider any of them retro because they're too old. They're not even old enough a team to have retro.
And also, I remember this logo, and it's hideous.
It's not their worst logo. Their original logo with the fucking bee on it looks stupid.
I don't like this one. It's too complicated. I don't like it.
Dallas Stars, I'm giving it a thumbs down, not because I hate the jersey, but I'm mad they didn't bring back the old black Mike Modano jerseys from the 90s, early 2000s, because those were sick jerseys.
I like this one. I'm just confused how long it is. I don't know if that's just the person it's being modeled.
It's probably like a fucking child really or something.
Okay. Thumbs up because I kind of like that one.
The Red Wings, I've seen a lot of people shit on this jersey. I love it because it looks fucking great. It's so simple that it actually looks really good.
Jersey.
This is a situation where less is more, and this is the whole thing. The Red Wings.
It does look like a practice jersey. I'm not gonna lie, it does look like a practice jersey, but it's a really good practice jersey.
No, I give this one a thumbs up. This is less is more, and I think even if you take out the gray stripes, it's fine.
Actually, yeah, if they took out the gray stripes, I would have liked it even more.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the gray stripes. That's actually what's making me love this one.
No, if the elbow ones were gone and the waist one was
yeah, you know what? If they at least took the armbands out, or at least like moved them differently, because I think it's a little bit weird on the positioning.
Yeah. I don't mind this one. Next one.
Oilers, basically the Gretzky jersey.
Honestly, I'm giving the thumbs up because of nostalgia reasons.
It's literally the Gretzky jersey, so you can't complain with that. This is my favorite jersey. I love this Florida Panthers jersey.
I
actually think if they went to this design, if they did this version back in the 90s, I would have loved the jersey even more then, because I think the blue actually looks better as the front, as the main color, rather than the red. Like, now that I see the two back next to each other, I fucking love the blue way more than I ever loved the red.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Also, the way the striping is done and the fucking, like, the white as well, like, it all pops really nicely.
Yeah, I you know what, I'll
also, it's better than their new logo. Their new logo looks stupid. I can't believe they got rid of this logo. This is easily one of the best logos in hockey.
That fucking like soccer inspired logo is so stupid.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like a fucking like Scottish crest. It does. This is also a great fucking jersey. You take the best Kings jersey, but put the best Kings colors to it. Oh, I love me some purple and gold.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this should be the standard jersey.
Yeah, this should be their actual jersey. Let's not. Yeah, it really should be, because the King. Who thinks Kings? When you think of Kings colors, do you think black and white?
No. Here's the thing.
You think gold.
You think of LA in general. You think of LA sports teams. Who pops up first?
That's true. The Lakers, right?
So you know what? Keep these colors, because Pittsburgh, it's all black and yellow.
But I mean, straight up, if you think king, the word king, you think gold and you think purple, because that's the color of royalty. So it makes sense.
You know the story behind that, right? With purple.
I don't care about the story, but we're talking about hockey.
No. This is a legitimate thing. Where purple in Victorian and medieval
because the dye was really expensive. So
purple was known to be a royal color.
Yeah.
So it's also, I think that, okay, so I'm sorry, go ahead. I
was going to say, we're not having a history lesson on the fucking, we're already talking about sports on a gaming podcast. Let's not go even beyond that.
All right, what's next?
Another jersey I really like, because it's taken the Minnesota Wild and put the North Star colors over it.
I'll give that a thumbs up. I think this team is so irrelevant, but I like what they've done.
I hate the fact that the most Canadian city in America has a very terrible hockey organization. It's almost a crime.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Sorry, what do you know? What don't you like about it, Chris? Because I saw you give the thumbs down.
Christmas.
That's fair. I can't believe I'm saying this. I didn't think blue would work with Montreal, but that jersey looks fucking good.
I absolutely
love it. I like that one.
That looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
that looks really good.
Yeah.
Nashville Predators, again, similar case to Florida. I actually like this better than the original.
I like that one.
You know what? I'm gonna give it thumbs middle because I've seen that jersey before. I'm sorry. It's like you've seen the color scheme.
Of course, you've seen the jersey before. It's their colors mixed with an old jersey.
This is it's the same situation that they're too new to even be. I just think it's nothing special.
It's a good jersey. The Christmas Devil jerseys.
Oh,
I'm in the middle on that one. I don't like it being that much green. Here's the thing. They technically already did this jersey with their alternates in 2018. It was just white instead of the green in the middle.
Yeah, I'm not.
So technically, actually, you know what? I'm even giving it a thumbs down because it's basically a repeat.
Yeah, I
have two reasons.
It's hideous. I'm sorry. It's fucking hideous.
I have two reasons I don't like it. One, it's Christmas. Two, I don't like the guy who's wearing it. He's trying to be cool and he looks stupid.
Okay, I'm going to automatically say this is a thumbs down. I'm going to give you the reason why. Tell me if you think this looks like a different jersey than anything they've ever worn.
Yeah, thumbs down. This is a typical Islanders jersey.
I looked at this. I'm like, what's reverse retro about it? This looks like an Islanders jersey.
No. Okay, so there's this meme from The Office where Pam has a picture and a picture of Dwight and says it's the same picture.
I'm going to show you what they should have done.
Fucking picture.
If they wanted to go reverse retro, the only jersey they could have used would have been this one. Would have been the fucking fisherman jersey. Oops, I clicked on too many.
Oh my god. That's okay, you know what? No. This one's also hideous.
No, I fucking love this jersey. You're wrong. You're so wrong. This jersey is fucking sick.
Oh,
that does look nicer.
Oh my god. I think they should.
It does look nicer.
Look. The logo itself, when you really think about it, is kind of dumb. But as like a couple of times a year thing, it's still pretty fucking cool.
And maybe a couple times a year, but not as a permanent jersey. Like the Montreal one could be a permanent.
I like that.
But compared to this, at least it would look different from what they already wear.
Yeah. I like it.
Let's see the Rangers jersey.
I love this jersey. I love the Lady Liberty logo.
I'm not loving the statue logo, but I like the color scheme. I like everything else except for the logo.
See, I'm slightly thumbs up because the logo is not my favorite, but the color scheme is pretty fun.
I will only say this about the logo: it's too big on the jersey. They should have made it smaller.
Yes, that's what's bothering me. It's too big.
Fuck yeah! That's what's showing me right now.
I can't believe how much I like this because I thought it was going to be too much red, and I really love this jersey now.
I really like it.
I really warmed up to it.
Ooh.
Okay,
I like that one.
What else? The striped vintage jersey that the Senators have with the black and red stripes. That's my favorite jersey. Period.
What, the really really old one where it's just the O in the middle?
I really love that.
Jersey. It's a pretty good like old school jersey for sure. But yeah, I was surprised how well this worked. I thought they were going to do white again and just go back to the old, like, retro sense, but then they put the red in. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. And then I kept looking at it and be like, no, you know what? This looks fucking great.
Yeah.
The only thing, honestly, I would have added to it, where all the black stripes are, put a little, like, a gold outline on the black stripes, just to make it pop a little bit more.
Yeah. What's next? Philly, I'm guessing?
Philly. And thumbs down just because it's so similar to Flyers jerseys. It's not really retro.
I just hate Philly in general.
The problem with some of these teams is that their colors never changed over the years, so it's hard to do a retro or reverse retro. So I think in these cases with these guys, they should have like tried a different color just to switch it up. But in this case, like it doesn't look any different. The only real difference to this jersey is just a little bit of lining on the shoulders. That's it. That's the difference, I guess. I hate and love this jersey at the same time because it's simplistic, but the letters do really pop on it. So I'm in the middle.
Yeah, I'm in the middle in here.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
It's nothing special.
Word too big.
I wish they.
I'm going to show you another jersey too. I'm going to show you the retro or the alternate Penguins jersey from 2018.
I know what you're thinking of.
Where it looks like a fucking gym penny or like it's just a piss jersey. Oops, this is the problem. My thing is loading way slowly for some reason, which is unusual.
Okay,
but yeah.
Is it the one with the I don't.
Oh
like
my
that
god,
jersey.
I don't want an article. I just want the picture. God damn it, Chrome.
I like
there.
The okay, you know what? My favorite Penguins jersey is the 92-93 Lemieux jersey.
Tell me you don't look at that jersey though and think it looks like a fucking gym penny.
I don't know.
It looks like those things you wear when you're just figuring out what teams are what when you're playing gym class.
Yeah.
Like that's what that looks like to me.
Yeah,
that does.
It's just got sleeves. It's a gym penny with sleeves.
I don't like it. I like the old school.
So that's why I give this the thumbs in the middle, because it's better than that atrocious thing.
I don't like either.
The Sharks, taking a steal from Bar Down from TSN. There are 3 things you can guarantee in life: death, taxes, and if you put a shark on something, it looks fucking cool.
I'm giving this a thumbs in the middle because there's nothing special about this.
I like it because again, it's simple enough, but it pops enough that I think it looks great. It's still not as good. I'm gonna keep showing you some jerseys because I think they look so good. The 2018 alternate was so fucking good because it was like a stealth fighter jet with the Sharks logo. Yeah, there we go.
I like that one.
Oh, see, that looks way better.
That was their alternate from a couple years back. That looks fucking cool. Also, like a little bit of detail. You probably can't see it that well, but like there's a little bit of detailing on the little stripes. Yeah. So yeah, it literally looked like stealth mode, like shark. It's like, oh man, shark's already scary enough, but fucking stealth fighter jet sharks. Oh boy.
Yeah, that just ruined this one. This one's thumbs down for me.
Yeah.
This is the most divisive one I found. I actually really love this jersey, but a lot of people have said it's too red.
Okay,
I actually like it a lot.
Captain Marvel.
Okay, the problem is
Captain Marvel.
If it wasn't the St. Louis Blues, which are prominently yellow and blue, I would be okay. But I don't think it suits the.
They wore this jersey for like 4 years, so it's not like it's out of the possibility for them.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't like it at all.
I don't. Yeah, no.
Well, this is the thing too. Yeah. If they did their old retro jersey, it would just be what their 2018 alternate was, which was the old just plain blue and gold. So. They had to do something different. That's the problem with some of these retro jerseys is they couldn't just pick the ones they just used like a couple of years ago. They had to pick something else.
I feel like this one is screaming at me. It's so loud.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
It's the vintage jersey.
I'm indifferent on it because I actually like the jersey, but I still don't like the old logo.
No, I think and it's too big. Like, make it maybe slightly smaller or something to make it less
now that I'm seeing it again,
not good.
The old logo, I hate the font on it. I hate that font.
Yeah.
It's not sharp. It's fucking, it's wavy. It's not sharp like a lightning should be.
Yeah.
I like the rest of the jersey, though. That's why this one I'm kind of torn, because if you got rid of the logo or had a different logo, I would love this one. Love it.
Because the logo right now is just the bolt. So if
yeah, do that.
Actually, you know what? If they took the font away, I'd love this jersey. If they just took the font out and just left the circle, it almost looked like a Flash jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they took a circle out, it would be a lot better.
Okay. So I'm going to preface this by saying this jersey I thought was the worst one. However, I've seen what it looks like in person now, and it's a little different. The picture does not do it justice because the guy's also wearing a hoodie, and it looks a little bit weird now because of how he's wearing it. I've seen the jersey now without anybody wearing it. It doesn't look that bad. That being said, they should have just used the old logo that's actually used in this jersey's design because that logo is better than this one.
Yeah.
Honestly,
if they just took this logo, it's almost one of the better jerseys, but they didn't. So
it would have been, yeah.
It's no longer this. It's just meh for me. I'm like, you guys could have done so much better, but I don't hate it as much as I did when I first saw it.
I'm honestly
is it just me or does it look like the logo was like, you know those things, the badges you can buy where you sew them onto your backpack and shit? Does it look like someone bought that and sewed it on themselves?
Yeah, it looks a little bit cheap knockoff-ish. Also, I'm thrown off by the fact that the font is different in with Toronto and Maple Leafs. The font's different.
Oh my god, I didn't notice that, and now I can't unsee it.
You know what? I'll tell you which one I'm looking forward to seeing.
We're almost there.
Yeah, I know.
So fucking wait. We're at T.
There's also UVW, motherfucker.
I might be the only person that likes this.
You know what?
I've seen so many hockey fans say it's the worst one.
You know what?
I actually like it.
If it was one color, I would be okay.
I actually like the gradient.
It's not a gradient.
Because it's different. No, it's a gradient. Look, it's fading towards the middle.
Oh. Yeah, you're right.
Because the original jersey was a gradient.
Yeah, actually, this isn't bad.
So for this one, I cannot answer without a biased opinion because the girl wearing it and the pose and the way she's showing it off, I can't make a judgment call here.
Too much bias
It's
involved.
Too late. Yeah, I feel like it looks perfect now because of the way this chick's wearing it.
Okay, so this jersey
I
technically doesn't count because it's not retro because Vegas hasn't been around long enough, but I still think this is actually the best jersey out of all 31. I fucking love this jersey.
I really like that logo.
That's cool.
I
really
love
cool.
this jersey.
Yeah, I like this one.
Here's the funny thing. This is their comparison. The only thing is because they have this. It's just the V. That's the only thing.
Yeah, they took nothing from
because there's no inspiration, right? So there's no Vegas team to take from.
No.
But I actually think it's the best jersey.
I do like the logo a lot.
Yeah, I almost would rather they use this logo rather than the Knight logo, but either way. I think they put this on the shoulders anyway.
I think they do.
Oh, nice.
Washington Capitals. I hate it. I hate it. Not because I don't like the logo. I just think it doesn't work with red. The logo doesn't fit with red at all.
If it was blue, I think it would be a lot better.
If they made this a white jersey, I think I would have been okay with it. But because it's red, I don't like the red.
Yeah, I don't like this one at all. Something is just.
I had a feeling it would be the Eagle logo.
Oh, it had to be the Eagle logo because they've already done the old full Washington Capitals spelling from like the 80s.
What are the 5 stars for?
The what? Sorry.
The 5 stars.
The stars. I don't actually remember.
You know what? Let's look at the next one because that's the one I'm looking forward to seeing.
Oh, I hate this jersey.
Oh,
I like it.
Oh my god, it looks horrible.
I was expecting so much more. That was the one I was looking forward to.
Yeah, no,
I don't like it.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
No.
I'm surprised. I'm weirded out by why they picked gray. Like they could have just done a red Winnipeg Jets jersey. It's probably still wouldn't be that great because I don't know if red would have worked, but it would have looked better than. Ugh.
Yeah.
Now that I've warmed up to the Toronto jersey, this is the worst jersey. Without question, this is the worst jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really bad.
Yeah,
then that was it. So we ended on the worst one. So let's go back to the good one. Let's go back to the nice one. There. Okay. We're good.
Does everybody have their favorite?
I don't know.
If I'm not counting the Vegas retro jersey because it's not technically retro.
I would say the Ottawa one is my favorite.
I would give it to the Florida one, personally.
I would say Ottawa or LA for me.
What about you, Chris? Can you remember which one you like the most?
Oh, yeah. Like when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is my favorite so far. Let's see if any can beat this. Mine's the Red Wings.
Just the simplicity, yeah.
The Red Wings, yeah, the simplicity. Because I'm looking at it from a fan's perspective. I would wear that out. Like, I mean, if I was going to the bar with you guys, I would wear that. I would wear it to games. I would wear it. I mean, I'd have to be a fan of the actual team, but
Adam Trump would be proud of you as a Reds Wings fan.
Yeah, I would 100% wear that out. I really like the simplicity and style of this one. Very much so.
But yeah, I thought that'd be a fun bit, and we actually are just closing on just over 2 hours, so I think that would actually worked out perfectly.
It did.
And Vish is gone for the 3rd time, so I'm going to take this chance to quickly get out of here while he's not here. So to anybody watching the full video, because I mean, I think I'm going to post the audio version of this as well, so if anybody wanted to like look at the article or like look at the jerseys while we were talking about them, I guess they could do that. But yeah, this has been the VCR Podcast, episode 51, first of a new set of 50 as we work towards 100. And we'll see you next week. Ideally, because your PS5 that is now going to be my PS5 is available for pickup. So hopefully by the time we get to Wednesday, I will have at least some thoughts specifically about Astro's Playroom. And probably not much else because I don't think I'll be playing any PS5 games at that point.
Yeah, I mean, besides Miles Morales, I won't either.
I'm going to wait for that to drop anyway, so it works up nicely. Cyberpunk might technically be the first new-ish game I play on PS5, and I'll mostly be playing like the slightly updated PS4 version.
I feel like
for sure.
if Cyberpunk gets delayed one more time, Adam,
I literally said it's not going to happen because advertisements are being mass printed. Cyberpunk, like, this is the thing too. Cyberpunk's had 2 other release dates, and I have not seen like full printed advertising out in stores or anything for it. Now all of a sudden they're happening. So I would believe that, they're actually sure about this one.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
this is going to happen.
I might fucking kill myself.
Chris, do you want to place a $10 bet if Adam's going to have a psychotic meltdown or not?
I mean, I'd rather help him as a friend, but
Chris, take the bet because then I'll specifically take a $5 cut off of your $10 that you win from Vish to just not go psychotic for one podcast.
Shall I call your bluff and raise you $10,000?
I call your bluff and raise you $1 million.
Oh fuck, we're gonna get so.
I mean,
rich,
I'm gonna
Chris.
take it.
We're getting so fucking rich.
Just said we're gonna split the weddings.
All right, so this has been the VCR
do we
podcast.
Get to break your legs if you don't pay?
No.
No, Vishal.
What up?
No, because why would we have to? We have $500,000. We can get somebody else to do it for us.
But he has to give us that $500,000.
Then we wait.
Here's your $500,000.
Then we wait.
Right.
That's not money.
But anyways, this has been. It's funny that you give us the one, Vish, because it's been 51 episodes of the VCR podcast as I do my final segue of the show. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of the show, and we will see you next week when 5 more consoles will get announced. So,
oh god.
With that being said, thank you so much for checking us out, and we will see you on the next one.
Cheers.